History. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws of God, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws of God, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it?
He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws of God, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history?
Hey, shalom. It's been a long time, but we are back. We are back.
Praise.
Finally, it's been a while. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History Radio Show.
All praise to the Lord for that. All right, I got the sound effects. Good. Y'all on point.
Okay,
So
all
far, so
praises,
good.
all praises.
All right, so it's been a while. We're gonna do a lot of recaps. Occasionally, what I like to do is I like to rewatch the video to see if I may have missed anything or left something out. What inspires me the most is the comments. Like I like to go through the comments. There's some dude on there. I'm not gonna say his name because I'll give him fame. He was running his mouth. Yo, what kind of stuff is this? You guys aren't bringing the books out. It's real disingenuous. I don't bring the books out for two reasons. One, because unlike you, no one knows who you are. People know who we are. But anyways, the reason why I did not bring the books out is because, for some, I'll say odd reason from what we've noticed is that when we bring the books out, those books become overly expensive out of nowhere. That once weren't expensive. They are out of print. They are what else? Out of print, overpriced.
Yeah.
Or removed from the shelves entirely. We've experienced this. When we bring out a book and the book price goes up, now we can assume that maybe because people are watching the videos and so they're running to buy it. I don't know, but it's odd to us. Also, there have been instances where I will present information. This history show is biblically based. Our Hidden History Radio Show is a Bible-based history show. So we're using Bible. So whenever we bring out a source, if it does not match up with scripture or scriptural history, I stray from it, or I make certain that if it matches up, but it's not in the Bible, I'll mention it, but I'll make it clear that the information is it's outside the Bible, it's outside source, But for the most part, everything I bring out is biblically based. So right now we're in the Dark Ages. I want to just go back to that. We're going to recap, and most of the books that I mentioned earlier that are high priced or are removed from the shelves, out of print, whatever. I decided to make the conscious decision because Bishop does his Shout Out Tuesdays and he shows the books. So
right.
I'm like, He said, "What's the name of the book, Pete? What's the name of the book?" And I'm like, okay, but the bishop will mess around and give you the name of the book, the author's address. I'm like, damn, man. Oh, my gosh.
That's right.
So I said, Bishop does it, so I'll do it. So every book that I've gone over in the past, revolving around the Native Americans being Israelites, the King Solomon's travels on this side of the world, and then later the other explorations that, of our people coming over here, I'm going to present those books because a lot of the information that I brought out in the first seasons of the show ties into the Dark Ages. It really does. So,
hey, Deacon, also, a lot of the books we get and we ordered them, there may be 1 or 2 left of the books.
Yep.
Now, it makes sense to get the books to the leadership because why? They're going to bring it out. They're the ones that's going to be teaching. They're the ones that's going to bring the books out. So it makes sense for the leadership to get those books. Now, as far as the rest of the books is concerned, it's limited. Now it's limited, and the price is skyrocketing. So it really don't matter if we give you the name of the book. It really don't matter. I mean, you have to do your own due diligence to really try to search for the book, but it's likely that it's not there no more.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of these books are like 1850s,
right,
early 1800s. These are, I call them white eyes only books. A lot of these books were published and compiled or put together when black folks are still on the plantations and still in slavery. So these books are were not intended for our eyes to begin with. So we pride ourselves in getting access to those books first and foremost. Another reason also I left out why I don't like bringing books out is because I've seen this with my own eye. I've seen it and I've heard it, where we'll bring out history books, and bring out classes and go into things, and somebody will come along out of nowhere and use the exact same books that we use, teach the exact same thing that I'm teaching, and say, the Spirit showed it to me. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand it. So I don't show the books. So now you guys sit there and figure out what book am I using because you lying and telling people the Spirit moved you, guided you to find all these historical references that you watching from our show.
Damn.
The Spirit. No, Negro, the Spirit is in the show you're watching. And you're lying and saying it's you. No, it's not you.
Damn.
So I don't like plagiarism. I don't like that at all. Me, I'll make mention of I'll say I got this book from this brother on YouTube. He brought this book out. We're going to use it. It was informative. We'll say that. I'll say I'll say where I got it from. I'm not going to sit up there and, like there's some books I've saw on YouTube, brothers teaching certain things about blacks ruling England. I'm like, okay, that's some good stuff there. I'm going to use that.
Right.
I'm saying it now. But some of you will be on there lying. Oh, the Spirit showed me the Spirit. No, nigga, that's a lying spirit.
You ain't got the answers, man.
Right. So anyway, I'm gonna get over that. I'm gonna try to ignore that and let's just move forward. So, we're going into the Dark Ages. We're going into the Dark Ages, and we're leading into the royal families of our people that ruled over Ireland, Scotland, Spain. We touched on this like damn near a year ago. So I got to go back, way back. So I'm going to touch on Scythians. Give me Colossians 1:3-11. Because the Scythians were our people that pretty much were the ones that, Northern Kingdom, they were the ones pretty much that were conquered first and made their way into these areas.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 11, where there is neither Greek nor Jew.
So where there is neither Greek nor Jew. Neither Greek is going into our people. We've gone over this during the Greek captivity. I covered this extensively. These Greeks is referring to Israelites. Israelites. Matter of fact, hold on to that real quick just to prove it. Give me John. Guarding these Greeks. John 12, verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 12 and verse 1. Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead.
So this is 6 days before Passover. This is 6 days before the feast day is coming, and Christ had raised Lazarus from the dead. Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Much people of the Jews, therefore, knew that he was there. And they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might see Lazarus also, whom he had raised from the dead.
So many of the Jews got word that Lazarus was raised from the dead. They want to come and see not only Christ, but also the man he had raised from the dead as well. Read on.
But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death, because that by reason of him many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus.
Right, many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus. Read on.
On the next day, much people that were come to the feast.
What feast? Passover. That's going back to verse 1. Much people, Jews, came to the feast. Go ahead.
When they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem.
Jump down to verse 18.
For this cause the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, Perceive ye how ye prevail nothing?
Go ahead.
Behold, the world is gone after him.
What world is going after him? The Jews. Going back to verse 9. The world is referring to the Jews. The whole world was not there to keep the feast. It was the Jews. Read on.
And there were certain Greeks among them that...
There were certain Greeks among them. Who's the them? The Jews. Read on.
That came up to worship at the feast.
Why? Because they were Jews. Greek-speaking Jews. They were called Greeks. They came up to worship. Why? Because they were Jews. Go ahead.
The same came therefore to Philip.
These same Greeks that came to worship at the feast came to want to speak to Philip, saying what?
Which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus.
Sir, we want to see Christ. Go ahead.
Philip cometh and telleth Andrew. And again, Andrew and Philip tell Jesus.
Stop there. So, as you can see, these Greeks went and said, we want to see Jesus. Can we talk to him? And then the disciples said, okay, one disciple told the other disciple, the Greeks want to talk to Christ. One disciple tells the other disciple, the Greeks want to talk to Christ. Go ahead.
And Jesus answered them, saying, The hour is come, that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit.
So Christ is now talking to these Greeks that came to worship at the feast. Now, get Acts 11. Why did the disciples bring these Greeks to talk to Christ? Why? Acts 11, verse 19. Let's see who they were talking to.
Acts chapter 11, verse 19. Now they, which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen, traveled as far as Phoenice, and Cyprus, and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only.
When the disciples are teaching, their job was to go out and teach the circumcision. That was their office. That was the disciple. That was Peter, James, and John's office, was to go out and teach the Jews who were born and raised under Mosaic law. That's who Christ sent them to go out and teach first. So these Greeks that want to see Christ and so forth, these are not heathens. Because you Christians that run with that, y'all acknowledge that, or Cornelius was the first Gentile that was addressed or was dealt with in the ministry. So you can't say that these Greeks were heathens because they weren't talking to heathens until allegedly Acts 10. Even though he was Israel too, but Christians understand that the first Gentile to be, I guess, grafted in, as they would say, was Acts 10, Cornelius. So these Greeks here cannot have been Greeks, literal, actual Caucasian Greeks. They were not. They were Israelites. All right? So now let's go back to where we were at before.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew.
Greek is referring to an Israelite that speaks Greek, follows Greek customs. Go ahead.
Circumcision nor uncircumcision.
Circumcision as in Jew born and raised, or uncircumcision as in Greek born and raised in Greek customs, which is still a Jew. Go ahead.
Barbarian.
Barbarians going into our people who do not speak the Greek or Latin language. They were considered to be barbarian. Go ahead.
Scythian.
Scythian or Scythian. Because the Scythians are also referred to as barbarians as well. When Paul traveled to the island of Malta or Melita in Acts, was it 28?
Around this, Deacon.
28 and 1.
Acts chapter 28, verse 1. And when they were escaped, then they knew that the island was called Melita.
Right, today it's called Malta. Melita, Malta. Jump down to verse 3.
Verse 3. And when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said among themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he hath escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live. And he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm.
It says the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand. The barbarians, these are the people in the islands were referred to as barbarians. This is an island that the Carthaginians inhabited and took over before the Romans overthrew them, but they were still living here. These barbarians are Carthaginians. These are Israelites too. Carthaginians goes back to Hannibal. These are Israelites as well. Okay? So now.
Hey, Deke, so the barbarians pretty much would be considered what Esau would consider them uncivilized. Because they didn't they didn't pretty much took on
Right,
their
the uncivilized.
customs
Right.
and so forth like that.
They would say they are Berberry or they're barbarians. So now, go back to Colossians again.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew.
Greek nor Jew, that's the status. That's the title they fall under. Greek, as in a Jew, that's a Greek or a Jew, but in general, go ahead.
Circumcision nor uncircumcision.
A Jew or a Greek, uncircumcision again, go ahead.
Barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free.
Freeborn or bond, go ahead.
But Christ is all and in all.
Because they're all those things are all one and the same. That's what he's saying. But the part that I want to deal with is the Scythian, whatever. Scythian, whatever. I'm going to deal with that part. Way back, I dealt with a topic called Scythians. Scythians. Get me Joshua 7 verse 1. Joshua 17 verse 1. It's a recap. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to touch on it a little bit.
Joshua chapter 17 verse 1. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead.
Just verse 1. Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
So
17.
Joshua, it's referring to Manasseh, 17. Jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Bethshan.
So Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher. They all shared land. They all shared land in the on this. They shared land on this side of the world, and they shared land on the other side of the world. This says Manasseh had Issachar and Asher. Manasseh their own island, but on the other side of the world, they shared land. Go ahead.
And her towns, and Ibleam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Taanach.
Endor, that's that damn Lord of the Rings, Endor, I think. Endor, go ahead.
And the inhabitants of Taanach and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries.
So the part we want to deal with is Bethshan. Is given to Manasseh. Go to Judges 127.
Judges chapter 1 verse 27. Neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshan and her towns, nor Taanach and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land.
28.
And it came to pass, when Israel was strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute and did utterly drive them out.
Did not utterly drive them out.
And did not utterly drive them out.
So Manasseh took on the Bethshan. Keep that in mind. Go to 1 Samuel 31, verse 1. It's spelled Bethshean. 1 Samuel 31, verse 8.
1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 8. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent into the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people.
Hold on. Jump to verse 8 to 10.
Yes, sir. Start from verse 8 again.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yes, sir. Verse 10. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth.
That's their God. Go ahead.
And they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan.
The wall of who?
Bethshan.
Wall of Bethshan. The wall of Bethshan. That's when Manasseh took over that land. But remember, the Canaanites were still there. Go ahead.
And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the bodies of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days.
So Bethshan is still that's the landmass that was given to Manasseh. Now go to 1 Kings 4. No, I'm going to that. Give me Bible Hub. Give me Bible Hub and type in Bethshan. Bethshan. Yep, that's it. Let's see what that says. Blow it up. We're going to stop at Pompeii.
Bethshan.
Well, click in, look for Pompeii. See what that is. Where's Pompeii at?
Are you able to type it in?
Pompey. Pompey. Pompeii.
It's not there, deep.
No. Pompeii isn't there. Should be. Bible Hub. Bethshan. Go to, it should say Bethshan. Bethshan and end at Pompeii. So is there Bethshan? Bethshan?
Y'all see that?
It's still Bible Hub.
Type in Pompeii. There it is. It's right there.
There you go. Okay. We see it? Blow it up. It says Pompeii there? I said end there. And we see where's it at?
Right here.
That's it. Okay, so go up. Start from the beginning.
All right, yes, sir. Bethshan. Bethshan. Bethshan or Bethshan. Bethshan or Bethshean, and Apocrypha, Bethsan or Bethsa, a city in the territory of Issachar, assigned to Manasseh.
We read it earlier.
Out of which the Canaanites were not driven.
They weren't driven out fully. Go ahead. They were put under tribute. Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 17, verse 11. Judges chapter 1, verse 27.
Read it earlier. Go ahead.
In the days of Israel's strength, they were put to task work.
Slaves.
Judges chapter 1, verse 28. They doubtless were in league with the Philistines, who after Israel's defeat in Gilboa, exposed the bodies of Saul and his sons on the wall of the city.
Yep.
1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 7. Whence they were rescued by the men of Jabesh, who remembered the earlier kindness of the king. In 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 7, 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 12. In Kings, 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 12, the name applies to the district in which the city stands. It was called Scythopolis by the Greeks.
Stop. It was called Scythopolis by the Greeks. The Greeks called this allotment of land to Manasseh Scythopolis. Why is this allotment of land given to Northern Kingdom called Scythopolis or Scythopolis? Wasn't that word sound familiar? Scythopolis, Scythopolis. Let's keep reading down to Pompeii. It was given that name by the Greeks. And the Greeks took over and gained dominion over the earth. They renamed our land, or the allotment of land given to Manasseh, Bethshan, They renamed the Beth-shan Scythopolis, meaning, we're going to find out that word. We're going to find out that the word polis means city. So it's polis of Scythe, the Skith. We going.
This may be connected with the invasion of Palestine by the Scythians, who, according to George Syncellus, overran Palestine and took possession of Besan. This may be the invasion noticed by Herodotus, circa 600 BC, 104 to 6. Here, Tryphon.
This may be, but that isn't the case. Keep going.
Here, Tryphon failed in his first attempt to take Jonathan by treachery. 1 Maccabees chapter 12, verse
Right,
40.
that's called Beth-san there in that book. Go ahead.
It fell to John Hyrcanus, but was taken from the Jews by Pompeii.
So Pompeii took it back from us. We took possession of it, and then Pompeii took it from us. Now, as under Rome. Now, get me Judith 3 and 10.
Judith, chapter 3 and verse 10. And he pitched between Geba and Scythopolis, and there he tarried a whole month, that he might gather together all the carriages of his army.
That it?
Yes, sir.
So you have Scythopolis. There we go. So it's in the Bible, Scythopolis. Now, let's go down to, get me 1 Chronicles 5:23 to 26. This is a recap. Trust me. I know. You'll see.
1 Chronicles chapter 5, verse 23. And the children of the half tribe of Manasseh dwelt in the land. They increased from Bashan unto Baal Hermon and Sinar, and unto Mount Hermon. And these were the heads of the house of their fathers, even Epher, and Ishi, and Eliel, and Azriel, and Jeremiah, and Hodavai.
Go to verse 25.
Verse 25. And they transgressed against the God of their fathers, and went a-whoring after the gods of the people of the land, whom God destroyed before them.
26.
And the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria.
Pul is Tiglath-Pileser III. Tiglath-Pileser is Pul. Tiglath-Pileser. Go ahead. Assyrian king.
And the spirit of Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria.
That's Pul. Same guy.
And he carried them away, even the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh.
Right, which goes back to what? Scythopolis, Manasseh, go ahead.
And brought them unto Halah, and Habor, and Hara, and to the river Gozan unto this day.
Unto the time this is written by the scribes and chronicles. Now, get 2 Kings 17:5.
Second Kings chapter 17, verse 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria.
So this is Shalmaneser. He came and took another wave of Israelites out into captivity, like his father Tiglath-Pileser did. Go ahead.
And carried Israel away into Assyria, and placed them in Halah,
Place them in the same exact places. Go ahead.
And in Habor by the river of Gozan.
Go ahead. Where?
By the river of Gozan.
Come on.
And in the cities of the Medes.
Where?
In the cities of the Medes.
Place them in the cities of the Medes. Keep that in mind. He placed this northern kingdom into the cities of the Medes, and the Greeks named their allotment of land Scythopolis. Hold on. Now, get me Google Scythian Empire. Just type in Scythian Empire and just Google it.
That's what you want, Deke?
No, Scythian Empire, I said.
Just for empire.
Scythian Empire. Google Scythian Empire. Let me see it. What's it say there?
Can you blow it up?
Hold up so I can see what I'm looking at. Go down. Hold on a second.
Hey, so
That's studies.com.
Yeah, go there. Let me see. I doubt it. Go to Wikipedia, Scythians. I don't know why I had that written there.
Right there.
Go to approximately 7th century to 3rd century.
Oh, there it is, right there, D.
All right, and then I'm going to end at Hellenized.
Yes, sir. The Scythians are Scyths, also known as Ishkuzai or Askuzai, and more rarely as Sake.
Sake. Oh, Sake. More rarely known as Sake. We're going to get to that word later on. Go ahead.
Were an ancient nomadic people living primarily in the region known as Scythia.
Oh, living in a region known as Scythia. Okay.
And what is modern day Ukraine? And
they was in Ukraine. They was in the Ukraine. They all that's also referred to as Khazaria. They were there. Go ahead.
And southern Russia.
Go ahead.
Classical Scythians, also known as Pontic Scythians, dominated the Pontic steppe from approximately the 7th century BCE until the 3rd century BCE.
That sounds so. Wait, the numbers. 7th century BCE. What year was that? Let's go back. 7th century. You give me the captivity real quick. The captivity pamphlet. The years, please. The cover. You know what I'm talking about? 7th century to 3rd century.
Right.
But we know that the Greeks named that allotment of land Scythopolis. The Greeks' reign began 300s. That's 3rd century. So who was reigning during the 7th century? Let's get some clarity on that. They reigned from 7th century to 3rd century.
So understand what Deacon is bringing out. Like he said before, all of this is going to eventually link up. So we're just doing a recap because when we start getting into the Dark Ages and start getting into where we started migrating into the British Isles and the Scotland and stuff like that.
That's it.
All this stuff is going to come together. So
yeah, I'm
that's the whole
simply
purpose.
knitting it all together and bring it full circle.
Right.
So I'm doing for y'all. So now, right here, bring it down. We'll bring it up, right here. Babylon. So it says this is the Time of the Gentiles pamphlet I used. It says number 1 is Babylonian Empire, 605 to 539 BC. The head of gold that Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream, that's 600 BC, right? So that's Babylon right there, 600 BC. So what came before the Neo-Babylonian Empire? Assyria. Now, leave out of that. No, go down. You have Persian Mede, that's 500s BC to 330 BC. That's 300s BC. Greeks, 333, Alexander the Great to 64. 64 is Pompeii. So 500s is Babylon, 300s is Greeks. So who was ruling in the 700s, 7 BC? Type in Assyrian Empire. Type in, let that go, drop that. Go type in Assyrian Empire. Open that up. Wikipedia is fine. Assyria is fine. No, go to Neo-Assyrian because you have ancient Assyrians. That's the Akkadians. That's the Babylonians and Assyrians merged into one empire. That's called the Akkadians. Neo-Assyrian is more along the timeline of the Bible. Later on, that's that's called the New Assyrian Empire. New, like Neo-Babylonian, Neo-Assyrian. So blow it up. Go to the list of kings. I don't really care much about this stuff. Go to the list of kings real quick. Go down. It should show them.
Right here.
Yeah, click the kings. I mentioned Tiglath-Pileser and I mentioned Shalmaneser. You see right there, it says Shalmaneser the third.
859 to 824 BC.
But that's not that's Shalmaneser in the Bible is the fifth. That's his great grandfather. Next name?
Tiglath-Pileser the third.
That's the one that took them captive in Chronicles. What year is that?
745 to 727 BC.
That's 700s BC. That's 700s BC right there. So that's the Assyrian. So the Scythians were established in this area of Scythia from the 7th century BC to 3rd century BC. That's from they were put there since the time of the Assyrians. Why? Because they were placed in the cities of the Medes. They established their own little empire called the Scythian Empire. That's us. Exile. We the exiles became an empire. An empire of exiles. Okay?
So I think you mentioned it before. I think last class, Deacon, where when you start talking about BC, 7th century really means 700s BC.
And BC is accurate. On BC, 7th century BC is 700s. When you go to AD, 300 AD is
it's like behind.
It's
So
4th century.
right.
So the 4th century AD is 300s. No,
It's the other way around. 4th century would be 300. Yeah, you're right.
300.
It'd be 300.
yes,
100 years later.
100 years before. Yes, it's retarded. I don't know why it's like that. But the 4th century will be 300s. The 2nd century will be 100s, like that. AD is forward. All right? Whereas BC is pretty much what it is. All right? So 7 BC. So let's go back to where we're at. Scythians again. 7th century BC is 700s. And you can go to any other website you want to go to, Britannica, whatever, to show that same list of Neo-Assyrian kings in that exact same order. Wikipedia is just fast for me. I'm trying to move, due to time. I'm going to get through this. That's why I went there. But those of you who naysayers say, why use Wikipedia? Some idiot said, oh, why use Wikipedia? Wikipedia is not legitimate. It's just a conglomerate of information. Isn't that everything? Everything's a conglomerate of information. So is the news, you stupid ass. You believe in the news? No, not all of it. But obviously, you see a newspaper, you believe in some of it. Anyway.
Hey, real quick, Deacon, if I may, to back up what we were just saying about 7th century BC, type in 7th century BC real quick, just to confirm what we... Type in 7th century BC Wikipedia. Come on, 7th century BC.
You get any encyclopedia, it's a conglomerate of information. Outside Wikipedia. Click that.
Click 7th century BC, Wikipedia. All right, 7th century BC. The 7th century BC began the first day of 700 BC.
There you go.
And ended the last day of 601 BC.
The next part.
The Neo-Assyrian Empire continued to dominate the Near East during this century.
Boom. So now you know the 7th century was the reign of Assyria, the same time that the Scythians were established. How did the Scythians get there? Because the Assyrians displaced us out of our land and placed us in that region. Okay, now let's go back to Scythians again in Wikipedia. Let's go back to there again. Go back to that again. We're going to end at Hellenized. Keep going.
Dominated the... No, I'm on the second paragraph.
Yes, you are. Scythians are.
The Scythians are generally believed to have been of Iranian origin.
Why? Iranian is Persian origin. Because they were placed where? In the cities of the Medes. Okay? Iranian, because the Medes is northern Iran. Media is North Iran. So they're of Iranian origin, it says. But they're not Iranian descent, but of the origin of that landmass. Read on.
The language the Scythians spoke belonged to the eastern branch of the Iranian languages. And they practiced a variant of ancient Iranian religion. The Scythians were part of the wider Scythian cultures, stretching across the Eurasian steppes of Kazakhstan, the Russian steppes of the Siberian, Ural, Volga, and southern regions.
Because remember, when Israel got placed in these landmasses, we started to learn their language. Like the Greeks, same thing. Go ahead.
And eastern Ukraine. In a broader sense, Scythians has also been used to designate all early Eurasian nomads.
We're going to stop at Hellenized. Keep going.
Right? Although the validity of such terminology is controversial, and other terms such as early nomadic have been deemed preferable. Although both were closely related nomadic Iranian peoples, although the ancient Persians, ancient Greeks, and ancient Babylonians respectively used the name Saka.
Oh, wait, hear it again?
Although both were closely related nomadic Iranian peoples.
Both were related nomadic Iranian people. Watch this.
Although the ancient Persians, ancient Greeks, and ancient Babylonians respectively used the names Saka.
For the Scythians, they called them Saka. Sakas.
Saka.
Go ahead.
Saka, Scythian, and Sumerian. For all the steppe nomads, the Saka, who inhabited the northern and eastern Eurasian steppe and the Tarim Basin, are to be distinguished from the European Scythians. And the name Scythian is used specifically for Western members of the Scythian cultures, while the name Saka is used specifically for their Eastern members.
So there's different sects. Go ahead.
And while the Sumerians were often described by contemporaries as culturally Scythian, they may have differed ethnically from the Scythians proper.
Right, the different race. Go ahead.
From the Scythians proper to whom the Sumerians were related, and who also displaced and replaced the Sumerians.
Sumerians was Japheth. When Northern Kingdom was placed in these lands, Japheth had Cimmerians was Japheth. That's Gomer. That's Gomer's children. Cimmerians are Gomer's children. So they were considered the Scythians, classical Scythians. Once they placed or Saka. They placed, once Northern Israel was put in that land, they fell under the title of Scythians as well. But we displaced the original inhabitants of those lands, Medes. Remember, Medes is Japheth. The Cimmerians is Japheth. We pushed them out and took over that land and became Scythians also. Like you have Greek white folks and you have Greek Israelites. The same thing. You have Scythian heathen and you have Scythian Israelites. Right, read on.
Among the earliest peoples,
that term fell primarily on us because by that time we got in there, the Cimmerians were pushed out. They were considered Scythian based upon the region. These Scythians here were called Saka. That's us. I'm going to prove that the Scythians called Saka, that's us. I'm going to show you. Read on.
Among the earliest peoples to master mounted warfare, the Scythians replaced the Cimmerians as the dominant power.
Cimmerians.
Cimmerians as the dominant power on the Pontic steppe in the 8th century BC.
We displaced them. In the 8th century BC, we displaced them.
Like we did it with the Carthaginians.
We did with the Carthaginians. With Hannibal, and we displaced the Sidonians. Read it again.
Among the earliest peoples to master mounted warfare, the Scythians replaced the Cimmerians as the dominant power on the Pontic steppe in the 8th century BC. During this time, they and related peoples came to dominate the entire Eurasian steppe from the Carpathian Mountains in the west to Ordos Plateau in the east, creating what has been called the First Central Asian Nomadic Empire. In the 7th century BCE, the Scythians crossed the Caucasus and frequently raided West Asia, along with the Cimmerians, playing an important role in the political developments of the region. Around 650 to 630 BC, Scythians briefly dominated the Medes of the western Iranian plateau.
See? They briefly dominated the Medes of the what?
Of the Iranian plateau.
Right, because they were placed there. Keep going.
And stretched their power to the borders of Egypt. After losing control over Media, they continued intervening in Middle Eastern affairs, playing a leading role in the destruction of the Assyrian Empire.
They helped to assist in Assyria being overthrown by the Babylonians. They assisted. Go ahead.
In the sack of Nineveh in 612 BCE.
Why? Because Assyria was responsible for them being placed there to begin with. Go ahead.
After being expelled from West Asia by the Medes, the Scythians subsequently engaged in frequent conflicts with the Achaemenid Empire.
The Persians, they start fighting with the Persians. Go ahead.
And suffered a major defeat against Macedonia in the 4th century BCE.
The Greeks beat our behind. Go ahead. The Greeks.
And were subsequently gradually conquered by the Sarmatians and related Iranian people living in their west. In the late 2nd century BCE, their capital at Scythian Neapolis in the Crimea was captured by the Methodites and captured by Methodites 6 and their territories incorporated into the Bosporan Kingdom.
Let's Hellenize that.
Type Hellenizing? Oh, I see it.
Oh, you're going.
It's right here. By this time, they had been largely Hellenized.
By this time, they had been largely Hellenized. These Scythians By that time, they were displaced and conquered by different nations in the landmass, and by that, eventually they were Hellenized, meaning what? They became Greeks. The Scythians became Greeks. That's why it says 7th century to 3rd century. All right? So that's the Greeks that Paul was talking about in the New Testament. That's why it says Scythian, Jew, Greek, Scythian, barbarian. It's all the same people. They're all one. That's what he's saying. But I'll help you more. Read on the name and at cytology. Look for the name and end at cytology. Yep, read there.
The name of the Scythians survived in the region of Scythia. Early authors continue to use the term Scythian, applying it to many groups unrelated to the original Scythians.
Right, go ahead.
Such as Huns, Goths, Turkic peoples, Avars, Bulgars, Khazars.
Later on, that's the term. So a lot of people, modern scholars pretty much related these people now to Scythians, but the original Scythians will be Japheth, and then our people came and fell under that term also, but they're referred to as Saka. Okay, we became the branch of Scythians or Saka Scythians. And then nowadays, they consider both people who live in that region, they say those are Scythians too, based upon living in that region. Go ahead. And other unnamed nomads. The scientific study of the Scythians is called cytology. Cytology. So, go to the book called Our Descent. You know what I'm talking about? Our Descent.
The cumulative.
Yeah, Our Descent.
Review. Our Descent.
The book is called the book, please. The book is called The Cumulative Review
of Our Descent.
Of Our Descent. The book of, what is it called again?
That's
a lot of words, man.
The Cumulative Review of Our Descent.
The Cumulative Review of Our Descent. I'm not sure. I don't have that book in front of me. So I know it's an old book. I'm not sure. I think it's around 1800s, right, that book?
Yes, sir.
It's an 1800s book. I call it White Eyes Only book.
That's our new term for these books.
Yeah, White Eyes Only. If it's early 1800s, we call it White Eyes Only. 1800, Red Eyes Only. Page 11. A cumulative review of Our Descent. Page 11. Okay, I'm pulling this to, I'm not sure why I have this written down. I guess I'll find out why I got page 11. Y'all have it? You should. Our Descent.
Here, I got it.
We'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you, D. I'll send it to y'all. 1 second.
Then we're gonna need Lost Tribes. The Saxons. The page 150, 65 to 66. Something
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You need that too.
I got that. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm showing you the books. So no one can say, "Oh, Deacon, start showing the books. You're being disingenuous, you stupid asses."
Oh, okay. So y'all got that one. I just sent the other one.
Now I'm naming the books now. Cumulative Review of Our Descent, page 11. Okay. If you didn't hear what I said, just go back, watch the video again, rewind to this timestamp and see what I said. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. A cumulative review of I emphasize our descent, us. Okay? This is page 11. Read that, please. We're going to read all the numbers.
Are you able to go up to the top? He foreknew? No, we don't need that. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Number 1. The 10 tribes became known to the ancient Greeks, Persians, and Romans as Sake.
Remember that? Saka. Same. We read that earlier.
Sakai, I'm sorry.
Sakai. In Wikipedia. Oh, Wikipedia is not a viable source. Well, it's the book right here, 1800s. Saka. Hear that? The 10 tribes became known to the ancient Greeks, Persians, and Romans as Saka. Go ahead.
And Sakai. Saka.
Saka says Sakai, and Saka and Sakai. Go ahead.
For a time, they clustered around the shores of the Black Sea.
That goes back to where? That goes back to Ukraine. That goes back to Khazaria. It's the same, the steeps, Eurasian steeps. Same thing. Scythia. Go ahead. Russia. Go ahead.
Scythians and Sakai became interchangeable terms, being given to the same people. 2. Herodotus, Diodorus, Pliny, and Ptolemy state that these Scythians and Sakai inhabiting the region of the Black Sea
Watch this.
are the same as those who came from Media across the Euphrates.
Wait a minute. Came from where? Came from where?
Are the same as those who came from Media across the Euphrates.
Who was placed there? We were placed there. The northern kingdom was placed there during the Assyrian captivity, 7th century. Go ahead. Y'all on point today at the bombs. All right. Go ahead.
3. Diodorus says, the Sakai sprang from a people in Media.
Where?
In Media.
In upper north Iran. Iranians, same thing, speaking the language. Go ahead.
Who obtained a vast and glorious empire.
Who obtained a vast and glorious empire while in exile. Just like we did under Carthage. The Carthaginian Empire. Same thing we did. Go ahead.
4. Pliny says, the Sakai were among the most distinguished people of Scythia.
Because there were other people that resided in Scythia called Scythians, but they referred to these Scythians as Saka. Go ahead.
Who settled in Armenia and were called Sakasani.
Sakasani. They were called Sakasani. Watch this. Keep going.
5. He further states the Sakai were a Scythian race.
Go ahead.
And came from Media, our great heritage. Gerald, page 45.
Number 6.
Albinus said the Saxons were
wait, stop.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry.
So it went from being Sakai, now they're called Saxon. The word Saxon comes from Sakai, which goes back to the Scythians, going back to the term Anglo-Saxon. It's the same people. That's why they call it the Eurasian steppe. You know, some of y'all don't know what that word means. Eurasia goes into Europe and Asia. Those lands meet. Like Russia and Iran are neighbors. Europe and the Near East is basically the same landmass. That's why they call it Asia Minor. You have Asia Minor. I call it Asia Major. I call Asia Major the Far East, Japan, China. And you have Asia Minor, and you have the Near East. In Europe, it's right there. Japheth and Shem share land because it's right there. Russia, Iran are neighbors. They're literally next door. They're next door neighbors. That's why it's called Eurasia, as in Europe and Asia. They link together. So the Scythians had that monopoly of land. Okay? So they were called Saxons. Sakai goes back to the word Saxons or Sax. Okay, and I'm going to say what the word Saxon means. Go and say what it means. Read on. Because the English, the kings, remember King James and them, they were Britons. These were Saxons, Anglo. The white man says, I'm a Saxon, I'm Anglo-Saxon. No, right. You're not. You're not Anglo-Saxon, Mr. White Man. You're not. So talk about you. Read on.
6. Albinus said, the Saxons were descended from the ancient Sake of Asia.
Eurasia. So the Saxons were descended from the ancient Saka of Asia. What? Read on.
And in process of time, they came to be called Saxons.
So the Sakai, who are referred to as Scythians by the Persians, Greeks, and the Romans, are Saka, who came later on known as Saxons. Read on.
7. Ptolemy mentions a Scythian people sprung from the Sakai by the name of Saxons. British history traced from Egypt and Palestine.
Stop. Wait.
Yo, that was the title is ridiculous.
You missed that part. British history traced from Egypt and Palestine. How is there British history traced from Egypt and Palestine? Who went from Egypt to Palestine? Israelites.
Yeah, we gotta get that book.
We're gonna buy that book next. Y'all gonna buy it too. We're gonna buy it now. We see it. We just noticed this book. We just noticed that. We're gonna buy it today. Go ahead. Shout out to those who donate. We be buying that. Use it for y'all too. Go ahead.
Read 7 again. Ptolemy mentions a Scythian people sprung from the Sakai by the name of Saxons. British history traced from Egypt and Palestine. Wow. Roberts, page 105, quoting Sharon Turner. 8. The self-liberated 10 tribes.
The self-liberated, because what? Once Assyria was overthrown, they were liberated to an extent. Go ahead.
The self-liberated 10 tribes, after leaving Media,
go ahead,
became subsequently known as the Scythians.
Quote-unquote Scythians. Go ahead.
Either from occupying a region so-called.
Either because they occupied a region so-called. Go ahead.
Or else to signify that they were wanderers, which is the import of the name.
The word Scythian means wanderers. Now, give me the other one. Lost tribes, the Saxons. You know what I'm talking about? You sent to them?
They have it deep.
Lost Tribes. What's the book called? Blow it up so everybody can see it.
Y'all got the book.
So no one can say, oh, did you being disingenuous? Niggas. The Lost Tribes, the Saxons of the West, the Saxons of the East. And I'm like, funny y'all, man, 'cause y'all stupid. Y'all upset me. The Lost Tribes and the Saxons of the East and of the West. And what with new views of Buddhism. And what does it say at the bottom? And what? And translations of
rock records in India.
In India. Go down to the year.
By George Moore.
MD.
MD.
London. Go down.
Go down.
Oh, it's in Latin numerals.
Yeah, somebody type
Let's
that
figure
up.
it out what year that is.
Somebody
I understand.
type that
I don't speak that. I'm just gonna say MDXL CC year. Let's see what year that is.
Let's go.
Let's see if it's white eyes only. Let's see if it's white eyes only.
Who got it?
1861. You know where Negroes was at in 1861? They wasn't free. This is not meant for you to read, Negroes. This is not talking about stuff for you. This is 1861. So remember, it was published 1861. It was compiled earlier than this.
Right, before, you're right.
You gotta gather research. That's called the conglomerate of information, Jess.
Yes, sir.
Wikipedia, you can't use that. It's a conglomerate of information. Every book is.
It takes time to get references and all that
Right.
together.
The book we read earlier, he cited from another book.
Yes, sir.
That's what you do. What if I win? You got these idiot apologetics saying, oh, what if I win this book? We're going to disprove it. How? You go to the back of the book, he has a whole index of books that were written for white eyes only. That's where he got it from. We have the books that he cited from. So we have books that they cite from.
He's black, Deke, so they want to discredit
Yeah, discredit the nigga. Yeah, he's black. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But we also do the same thing. We come together with references and so forth to bring together the information that Deacon is bringing out. We do the same thing, man.
This is 1861. We were emancipated 1863, January 1st. And you had Juneteenth. Some were emancipated later after that.
Right.
And then in Brazil, 1880. So he definitely wasn't reading in Brazil. Okay? Freedom came 1880, I believe, somewhere in Brazil. There were most of us brought over there. So, 1861, this book came out. Now let's get the page. Pages 1. Go back to it again, so everybody can see it again. So, you Israelites, you guys write your own books and then you present them. That's what you idiots be saying on YouTube. You stupid as hell. We read. Okay? We're not reading double XL in essence. We read these types of things. The Lost Tribes with the Saxons of the East and of the West. Because the Saxons or Scythians came from different directions. Now, go to page 165, and we're going to be 165 and 166. Now, what I'm doing for you black folks who are ignorant is called cross-referencing. I'm taking one book that says one thing, and this book says the exact same thing, and tying them together. Now, in the last book that said our descent, the cumulative evidence of our descent, it said the 10 tribes for number 1. Now we're going to get more on the Sake, which became Saxons. Read that, please.
The Hebrews in Mar.
In More.
More.
The Hebrews in More. More. Go ahead.
As well as those in Bakara.
In Bakara. Go ahead.
Assured the Reverend.
I believe Bakara is India or in that area, the east somewhere.
Right.
Go ahead. Bakara Jews. Go ahead.
Assured the Reverend J. Wolf that there are many of the children of Israel of the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun in the Hindu Kush.
Stop. Damn. So you have Northern Kingdom residing in the Hindu Kush, Ethiopia. Remember, Persian captivity, Israel was scattered from Ethiopia to India, those provinces, during that time. Northern Kingdom was there as well. It says Naphtali and Zebulun is there. Last, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I brought out the history of the Haritans in Mauritania last night in class about the Haritans that were there, right. that were brought there through the sub-Saharan slave trade. They were residing in the Sahara Desert for years. Then the Muslims came and enslaved them up until this day. Now, matter of fact, real quick, give me Haritan real quick. Give us something. I hope y'all real quick. Give me real quick. Go to Haratin's real quick. Watch this. Watch this. Haratin. I left something out last night, but since I have the time, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna show y'all what they call the Haritans today. Get that book about the more. You show me today in the car.
I just sent it, D.
Bro,
it's all linked up right now.
They're gonna tie it together.
All linked up.
We're just gonna right now. We're divinely weaving history for y'all.
Not Horatian, my man.
No, Haratin. Haratin.
Horatian.
I forgive you. It's okay. I forgive you. Haratin.
There you go.
Haratin. Right there. Click that. Okay, I showed this last night in class regarding the trans-Saharan slave trade and our people still being enslaved there to this day. Mauritania, Tunisia, Libya. It's going to stay where they're at. Read that. Go down to read Haratin. Read it. Read what it says.
Haratin. Arabic.
Blow it up some more. Let's go.
Haratin. Also referred to as Haratin, or Hartani.
Hartani, huh?
Are a North African ethnic group native to Western Sahel and southwestern Maghreb. The Haratin are mostly found in modern Mauritania, where they form a plurality. Morocco, Western Sahara, and Algeria.
Tunisia.
In Tunisia and Libya, they are referred to as Koshin, or Koshan.
You had Koshin Jews in India, I believe. That's the same people there. Go ahead, keep going.
The Haratin are both culturally and ethnically distinct from modern sub-Saharan Africans.
Because they're not Africans. They're not Hamites. Those are Semites here. Read on.
And speak Maghrebi, Arabic dialects, as well as various Berber languages.
Various what?
Berber languages.
That's barbarian. That's the Galatians 3:11 again. Berber languages. That's us. In Mauritania, they're called Berberic states. The Greeks and Romans refer to them as Barbary states. Mauritania. Morocco. That's us there too. We had that's called the land of the blacks up top, and you had Igbo land at the bottom. We had that whole thing on lock. Northwest Africa and Southwest Africa. Northwest and Southwest Africa we had. The whole damn region. And the middle, Congo as well. Read on.
They have traditionally been characterized as the descendants of former sub-Saharan slaves and the original inhabitants of the Sahara.
Go down to the original inhabitants of what?
The Sahara.
We reside in the desert. Read down to the Haratin have been. Right there.
The Haratin have been and still commonly are socially isolated in some Maghrebi countries.
Isolated. Go ahead, watch this. How?
Living in segregated. Haratin-only ghettos.
Haratin-only ghettos. That's why they're called endogamous. I mean, they stay to themselves because no one deals with them.
Outsiders.
Falashas. Same thing. Ghettos. Go ahead.
They are commonly perceived as an endogamous group of former slaves or descendants of slaves.
Endogamous means they all stay together. Now, go down. Let me see something real quick. Go down. Go to Haratin communities. Click that. Read that, please. Watch this.
Mauritania. In Mauritania, the Haratin form one of the largest ethnic groups and account for as much as 40% of the Mauritanians.
That's a whole lot of us. Watch this.
They are sometimes referred to as Black Moors. Oh, my God.
The word Haratin means black. They call them Black Moors. Why? Because these are the ones that fled from Spain and Portugal into Mauritania and ran to Arabic hands, Muslim hands, Turk hands, and became slaves from then till now in the same place. They call us Black Moors. That sister in that picture earlier, that's a Moor. That's a sister, that's a descendant of the Moors that conquered Spain and Portugal.
Beautiful sister.
Beautiful sister. That's who that is. That's our people there. The Black Moors is us. Now get that book, please. What you got, Jess?
Yes, sir. Last book on the group.
These are Israelites. There's no denying this. It's all relative. You'll see. It's all relative. These slaves you see in Mauritania today, or endogamous group, these are the ones that conquered Spain, Portugal, Ireland, England. That's them. That's who that is. Read this part here. What book is this?
Go up. Oh, they cut it out. This part is the ethnology of Europe.
We'll get it later. Go ahead.
Later. The Punic books were ascribed to King Hemispal.
The what is it called? The what?
The Punic books.
Punic books.
So we had
Punic books. That's our books.
That's our books.
That's Hannibal and them. They were called Punics. The Punic books
Our records.
was our records. Go ahead.
The Punic books, which were ascribed to King Hyamspu, exactly reverses the course of migration and states that the progenitors of the African Moors
The progenitors of the black Moors, go ahead,
were a people from Media and Persia who had marched through Europe into Spain and thence into Mauritania.
boom. And that's where we ended up. You can't make this up, man. What year is this book?
This book is 1863.
White eyes only, man. I'm just telling y'all, you don't know who you're dealing with. You Christians don't know. Just leave us alone, I'm telling you. We'll make it hard for you, I'm serious. Go to the next book now. That's the same people, that's Scythians. It's the same people migrating different directions to the same land masses, Mauritania. It's the same people.
And we just proved, Deacon, the last show, we just proved that the Punic, like Septimius Severus, he came from a Punic speaking
Libya.
family.
Yeah, right. Hannibal and them.
And also Hannibal and them. So.
Yep. Matter of fact, get that too. You want to get that book also with Hannibal?
Oh yeah, you want?
Let's get that too. Let's just go at it. Let's just go at it. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
What year was that one?
Oh, this book right. They 1862.
Oh God.
1861. I think.
Jesus Christ. White eyes only. This book is entitled. Well, we should get it first before we bring it up.
All right, I'm sending it to the group. All right.
This is page 33. It's called The Black Man, His Antecedents, His Genius, and His Achievements.
Damn.
1863, Boston. James Redpath, publisher. The Black Man, His Antecedents, His Genius, and Achievements. Antecedents means what? Antecedents.
Oh, look up antecedents.
That word's not too common amongst us. I believe it means progenitor. I believe it means progenitors or descendants. Because antecedent. It means it's children. Antecedents.
Right, ancestors.
Ancestors, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Antecedent. Click it. Click it on the speaker. So it says
Antecedent.
Antecedent. It says what?
Go up.
A thing or
Get the second right here. A person's ancestors are family and social background.
okay, ancestors. Okay. Ancestry. So it's a fancy way of saying ancestor. The black man, his antecedents or ancestors, his genius, and his achievements. Written by William Wells Brown in 1863. Let's see what he wrote. Read that.
Go back to the page.
Go scroll up right there.
All right. Says Hanno, the father of Hamilcar.
Hanno, the father of Hamilcar. Go ahead.
And grandfather of Hannibal.
This is Hamilcar. Hanno is the father of Hamilcar. Hamilcar is the father of Hannibal. So Hanno is Hannibal's grandfather. Watch this. Was what?
Was a Negro.
Was what?
A Negro.
Was a Negro. Read the next statement it says.
These are the antecedents of the enslaved blacks on this continent.
Oh my gosh.
That's our people.
These are the antecedents of the enslaved blacks on this continent. These are the ancestors of the enslaved blacks on this continent. So Hannibal is a black man. We are descendants of those people. So the Phoenicians or Punic books, Hannibal and them were Punics. That's us. So let's go back to that other book again, please. Then later on he writes some stuff about, Anglo-Saxons, whatever. We destroyed that already. That's us too. White folks think, well, that's us. No, that's not you either. White man's history can't go beyond the Greeks. Anything past Greeks, they're in oblivion somewhere. Read that, please.
The Hebrews and more, as well as those in Bakara, assured the Reverend J. Wolfe that there are many of the children of Israel, of the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun, in the Hindu Kush, among the Bakawi, and that they lived by robbery, and knew the exclamation of Shama Ye Israel, hear, O Israel.
Go ahead. But read again. Sorry, read again. I was doing something else. Read again.
The Hebrews and more, as well as those in Bakara, assured the Reverend J. Wolfe that there are many of the children of Israel of the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun, and the Hindu Kush, among the Bakawi, and that they lived by robbery, and knew the exclamation.
Because they were poor. Lived by robbery. Go ahead.
And knew the exclamation, Shama Ye Israel, hear, O Israel.
Go next part. 166. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. Read that. What'd that say?
The Isaki.
Isaki, yeah. Go ahead.
Isakzi. A name readily converted into Sakai.
Whoa. Wait. Remember that word? A word readily converted into Sakai by the who?
By the Greeks.
Remember the Persians had a name for them? The Greeks had a name for them, and the Romans had a name for them. It was the Sakai. Go ahead. Who what?
Who habitually rendered the names of the barbarians.
Wait. who rendered the names of the barbarians? That's Colossians 3:11 again. Go ahead.
Only into an approximate sound.
Watch this.
It is possible to account for these facts, but on the supposition that they are derived from the real Beni Israel.
They are derived from the real sons of Israel. Is there more on this?
No, sir.
Yeah, there's more right there.
Oh, there's another page.
Yeah, there's more. Read that right there. That's it. Read that.
We have supposed them to have been named Saki.
Same thing. Go ahead.
Or Sakai.
Or Sakai. Go ahead.
After Isaac.
After who?
Isaac.
Boom. After Isaac. That's what Saxon means. Anglo-Saxon means angelic sons of Isaac. That's what Anglo-Saxon means. So anyone who was ruling England in the Dark Ages were sons of Isaac. Not Esau either. That's us. Angelic. Esau ain't angelic. He's demonic son of Isaac. Read it again. He's anti-angelic. Read it again.
We have supposed them to have been named Saki or Sakai.
After who?
After Isaac.
Why? Read on.
And here, in the very seat of the Sakai of old, we find large numbers of people professing to be Israelites, calling themselves. What is? Can you get the other page?
Calling themselves what?
Calling themselves
Isaksi.
Isaksi.
So that was the first part. That was the first part. We left that part out.
Oh man, go back so we can read all in one.
Read it in context. Read it again. We have.
The wrong pages. We have supposed them to have been named Saki or Sakai after Isaac. And here in the very seat of the Sakai of old, we find large numbers of people professing to be Israelites.
Calling themselves.
Come on. Azazi. A name readily converted into Sakai by the Greeks.
So Sakai is Isaac in Greeks. It's Isaac. Go ahead.
Who habitually rendered the names of the barbarians only into approximate sounds. It is possible to account for these facts, but on a supposition that they're derived from the real Beni Israel.
Right, and question mark because they're named after Isaac. Give me Mike. Hold on a second. Let me fucking find it. Give me 1 second. Say something, Jess.
Hey, who got Isaiah 11? That'll back it up when it says the Cush. That our people still.
Get Amos 7:16. We'll get that after.
Okay.
Get Amos 7:16 regarding the Saka. Amos 7:16. Because remember, Northern Kingdom was overthrown and was placed in the cities of the Medes. Then they fell under the name Scythian based upon that region because they were wanderers in that region, established an empire in that region, displaced Japheth out of there, and then established their own exilic empire as the Scythians or a branch of Scythians. But they also or referred to as Saka by the Greeks and so forth. Scythians is Saka. And that branch is called Saka of Scythians. Amos 7:16.
Amos chapter 7 verse 16. Now therefore, hear thou the word of the Lord. Thou sayest, prophesy not against Israel, and drop not thy word against the house of Isaac.
House of Saxon. Same thing. House of Isaac. It's Northern Kingdom there. House of Isaac is the Scythians. That's who that is, Northern Kingdom. Bishop went over this last night, the two chosen families. The Scythians is the house of... Now, of course, I'm going to show y'all that the Scythians is also Judah as well. Because when Tiglath-Pileser conquered Northern Kingdom, remember, Judah and Simeon shared land. So when the Assyrians conquered Northern Kingdom, Judah, they didn't say, hey, you, what tribe are you? Get out of the way. They took whoever. They took Judah also. Yeah, it's in here. Huh? Oh, I didn't pull that, right? I give them that. Page 362. Look for it first. 36203. Get me Israel Revivus. No, give me Scythopolis. Give me Scythopolis. Regarding when the Greeks renamed the landmass Scythopolis. Let's see what that means. Scythopolis. You click that, it should say what it means.
Scythopolis may refer to an ancient city in Israel on the site of modern Beth Shan.
Beth Shan. Same thing. That's not what I want, though. Go back out of that. It's going to tell you what it actually means, what the word Scythopolis means. Go out of that. Just go back. Let me see. Type in what does Scythopolis mean. It's a term. It tells you what it means. What does Scythopolis mean?
He put it in. It might be in there. You wanted to?
Yeah, let's look and see. I don't think it's in there though. It looked like it had those 3 lines. It tells you what it means. It says the city of something.
Oh, go back to what people ask. Let me see that. Go down. People also ask. Go down. I thought I seen something. Click on Bible study tools.
Yeah, go there. That should be it. It should be in there. Oh, this is one line. Damn.
Let me see.
What does it say?
Nah, it was more. Where's that at? Go back out. Go back out.
I taught it in class before what it means. It means city of something.
Go down.
The Scythians?
Yes. Where's that at?
Just type in Scythopolis meaning.
Yes, Scythopolis meaning.
And just put in meaning at the end.
Scythopolis meaning, yes. That's it.
Right there?
Yes, read that. What does that say?
Click on that. Are you able to click on it?
I think that's a PDF.
All right, go back out. I'll just read this right here.
Yeah.
All right, from the Hellenistic period
until... the Hellenistic period means the Greek. That's the 3rd century BC. Remember, Scythians were reigning from 7th century to 3rd, when they were Hellenized. So read what it says here.
From the Hellenistic period until the Arab conquest, biblical Beth Shan was.
Go ahead.
Known as Scythopolis.
That was the allotment of land given to the tribe of Manasseh. That's Northern Kingdom. Watch this.
City of the Scythians.
City of who?
The Scythians.
Who? City of the Scythians. City of Saka. City of the Saxons. That's what it means. House of Isaac. It's the same place. There more?
The Scythians were a group of nomad tribes living in classical times in what is now South Russia.
Ukraine. Listen, man. It's the same people. It's the same thing. Same exact thing. If you have any questions, comments, please, you can call us at 267-702-6121 regarding the class thus far. 267-702-6121. All right. We're presenting the books. So there's you can't gainsay, you guys aren't pulling the book. We're showing the books. All right.
The brother on comments say I did my DNA test on my true ancestry, and it says exactly that: Saka, Sarmatian, and Scythian, and Carthaginian, etc.
Okay, well, good for you. All praise the Lord. They're the same people. They're my DNA says too, and it said nigga. Where's it at? I know the Bible says we're Israelites, but anyway, where you at? Oh, yeah. I don't have time for that DNA stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's stupid to me.
Yo. All right, where we at?
Where's it at? Let me go. Give me Israel Revivalist. Is it 90%? Let me be quiet. Nah, I'm just joking. That's a joke. But yeah, maybe be careful. Be careful of the DNA stuff. Be careful of that stuff because it's very confusing. Very, very confusing stuff. All right. All jokes aside. It's a joke. It's a joke. Trying to think. Give me that book. This is Harper's Bible Dictionary. This is Harper's Bible Dictionary right here. It's not Zondervan for you apologetics. We use other ones as well. This is Harper's Bible Dictionary. And we went to page 360. Three. This is the a picture of exile. I'm trying to find where he conquered Judah. Lachish. Is it Lachish? L-A.
Yes, sir, Lachish. Come on, brothers. Who's taking the pictures here? Blow it up.
Hold on. I'm trying to see how you spell it.
Y'all got the other page, right? Yes, sir. Let me see that. Hold on 1 second. It's right here at the bottom, D. Lachish, L-A-C-H-I-S-H.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how it's spelled in the Bible, though, because I know it shows.
Yeah, man. So as y'all see, a lot of history. All praise to the Most High. All this history is coming out. As you know, it's called Our Hidden History. This history is hidden from us. Like we call the books now White Eyes Only because it was not meant for us to read these books. But all praise to the Lord, these books are coming out and we're able to share it with our people. So now we can put our history out front to our people. All right.
You go to Isaiah 37. Hold on. That's what I want. Second Chronicles.
We got a text also.
Second Chronicles 32, verse 9.
Second Chronicles, chapter 32, verse 9.
This is when King Sennacherib of the Assyrians came against us. I'll read that.
After this did Sennacherib, king of Assyria,
Go ahead.
send his servants to Jerusalem. But he himself laid siege against Lachish, and all his power with him, unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, and unto all Judah that were at Jerusalem, saying.
So he laid siege against Lachish. He laid siege against Lachish. Now go to that right there. And it's an engraving of our people being taken captive by the Assyrians here. Go up. Blow it up. Those are Israelites. Zoom in if you can. Zoom into them. Zoom in some more. More. Go down to their face and heads, please. That's braids and beards. Wide lips and nose. That's Negroes. That's not white people there with cornrows in their hair. You missed it with all of that Caucasian Jew stuff. It ain't making no sense in this room. It ain't making no sense. Go down to their garments. Let me see what they're wearing. Let me see.
Yeah, the bombs don't even match when we tell you.
Okay, they wearing fringes. Not this one. Go up. That ain't the one they wearing fringes in. But that's them here. Look at them with the braid. That's an Assyrian right there and the Assyrian right there. Taking them, marching them out of the land. And these guys are coming out of Lachish. Now go down. You want to say something, Jess?
No, I'm about to say, look how straight his beard is compared to ours.
Right.
You see the.
Now go down to the bottom. I was going to tell you what this picture is. Go down to the bottom. Go number 2. That's fine. Read that. That's fine.
And in 701 BC.
That's 700 BC. Remember that? Go ahead.
Assyrian king Sennacherib conquered most of Judah, including the fortress city of Lachish. The victory was recorded in remarkable detail on bas reliefs at his Nineveh palace. This scene is poignant testimony to the plight of his victims, who were deported with only what they could carry on their backs.
Go over. Number 2.
2. Tel Ed Doer, the site of an ancient Lachish viewed from the air, appears as an imposing mound in the foothills of Judah.
Watch this.
The Judite palace fort raised by Sennacherib is the rectangular raised area on the far side of the top of the mound. The storming of the Lachish Gate Tower on a track of logs.
So the Assyrian king Sennacherib conquered Judah and took them captive and placed them where? In the exact same place as Ephraim was placed. So those Saxons, you see House of Isaac there, but Judah was taken captive and made Saxons too. They were placed in those areas too. I'm touching on that for a reason. That the Saxons are not just northern kingdom, they were southern kingdom as well. Judah particularly. Okay, go to number 3. Is there more?
Yes, sir. Go back. Number 3 at the bottom here. On a track of logs, a siege engine, go up. A siege engine equipped with a spear-like beam batters the city gate. One of the Assyrian soldiers within the engine pours water on his front from a long-handled ladle.
That's all one. It says, in the tower emerged men, women, and children fleeing, men, women, and children fleeing the doomed city. So go up again to the men. So when they overthrew Lachish, this is the result. Go up. Okay, yeah. Blow it up some again. You see a child right there. See the 2 men. In their bags, whatever they had with them, take it with you and let's time to go. Because the Assyrians took over Lachish, all right? You see that right there? These are brothers. These are just Judites who were placed where? In the same place everybody else is placed, in the cities of the Medes. Okay, so they became Scythians or Saxons as well. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, stay with us, all right? Shalom.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leases.
You brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke. Was sind
Vamos poder suportar.
Les Français.
Laat je niet misleiden tot filosofie van.
That's right. IUIC Atlanta will be hosting Feast of Tabernacles 2022.
Everybody gonna be there. FOT always live, man.
Yeah, make sure you register ASAP.
I can't wait. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it out there though.
IUIC Alabama.
That's a little pricey, man. You know, we used to keep that OKC thing.
Right.
It is starting OKC.
You're not in Alabama.
I might have to stay local.
You might be in Edomite.
You hear that? Right. So he basically saying that if you don't make it to FOT in Alabama, you an Edomite. That's crazy, bruh. I wish they would. If you don't make it to FOT in Alabama, you an Edomite. You can't make me do something I don't want to do. They would have to slap the mess out of me. That's just what it would have to be. And I don't see that happening. They would have to slap the Judite out of me. Calm down. Straight up. What are you doing, brother? What the hell are you doing here? The powder? The hell, you better be making chicken. Oh, God. Oh! What damn? Dude, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You shouldn't go around slapping people, okay? What the hell's going on out here, man? This is total malarkey. You'll hear from my lawyer. Gee whiz. Kalaya, what's going on, dude? Bro. It's bro, okay? It's bro. That's how you pronounce it, bro.
He just slapped the Judite out of him.
The Judite? How can you slap the Judite out of somebody? How can you do that? Ah! Dude, what happened, man?
Don't be like this brother here, who got slapped so hard in the face that he turned into another race. Register now and come enjoy the Feast of Tabernacles in Alabama this year. And remember, stay in the spirit, child. Shalom.
Listen, make your way to FOT in Alabama, man. So if you don't want this to happen to you, dude, this is malarkey. My eyebrow is doing the Geno Jenkins. Make it to FOT, man. I gotta go. Hey, dude, I need you to slap me again.
I hear what I'm saying, bro. Right there to keep these feasts. I want to hear your thoughts again, man. Move from right there, bro.
Stay home and chill. What do you mean stay home? Chill. Crazy, bro. I'm gone.
Let's get your high holiday, man. I'm just so raving, bro. Let's get these girls.
It's a commandment to keep the Lord's feast day.
150.
Yo, go for it. Like it or not. Yo, I'm gonna give them my money, man. I don't spare, man. I want to give them my money.
Hold up. Feast now stop to the morning star. Feast now stop to the morning. Feast now stop to the morning. Hold up. I know you feel my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh my.
Feast day sings, man, I feel blessed. So, man, I boogie with a flock, I know they feel stressed. Good wine, good vibes, and everything blessed. When I pray to the Lord and I sin less. Feast day sings, man, I feel blessed. When I boogie with a flock, I know they feel stressed. Good wine, good vibes, and everything blessed. When I pray to the Lord and I sin less.
Feast a stop. Everybody and I dance on a prance. Me a drink, but me not gonna drunk. Praise the Lord for the things we done. Son I come, but me not go me yard. Every feast I fi sing a new song. We party hard all night long. We celebrate till the kingdom comes.
Hold up. Feast now stop to the morning star. Feast now stop to the morning. Feast now stop to the morning. Hold up. I know you feel my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh my.
Deus é o Senhor que nos deu dias de festa. É a Bíblia, passou para o início dos meses. Começa na lua nova quando a lua estava cheia. Durante 7 dias sem fermento é o pão. Carneiro temperado com sal, grelhado a carvão. E os restos são queimados. Depois de 50 dias temos o Pentecoste. A colha das frutas. Já temos muito mais digo noutra hora.
Don't stop till the morning come. Wanna stay at home, you're a boring one. Why make it merry, so I'm pouring one. Hear the sweet melody, it's a gorgeous one. Feast don't stop till the morning come. Wanna stay at home, you're a boring one. Why make it merry, so I'm pouring one. Hear the sweet melody, it's a gorgeous one. Man, I drink strong on a feast day. Could have been a weekend or a weekday. Summer certain, so everything prepaid. Big tune get wheeled by the DJ. Big tune get wheeled by the. Them say they're bad, but we better. Them are informer, they don't eavesdropper. Son of God with a retapper. Hold up. Feast now stop to the morning star. Feast now stop to the morning. Feast now stop to the morning. Hold up. I know you feel my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day. It's a feast day.
La ley del yo es la verdad. Exactamente, eso es lo que estamos, que no tenemos hoy en día la sociedad. ¿Está claro con eso?
Estudia, cambia, y va a ser libre.
No grites. Mira, yo te estoy enseñando en la Biblia. Porque está en mi país. La ley vino para que se conociera el pecado. La gracia reconcilia al hombre. Así que aquí no van a engañar. Yo no me lo...
La ley de Jehová es perfecta. Cuando uno guarda las leyes, eso te hace perfecto.
Discerning spirits of an emulation. Talking about these words beyond your comprehension. You may read the Bible, but your works is missing.
When you read the Bible speaks about that the Israelites came to this country on the slave ship. But as the Israelites, look what we must do. Acts 3 verse 19. Repent ye therefore, and be converted. The Bible says, we as the Israelites, we must repent. What does it mean to repent? We gotta change our mindset. Right? Certain foods that we eat, we gotta stop eating it. Why? Because it leads to our sickness and our illnesses. Right? Exactly. Alright, check this out. Get Leviticus chapter 11.
Over your head, Apollo. Man, Apollo.
Light, dark, pick a side. Right, wrong, how you ride. Hot, cold, what's the vibe? Life, death, choose wisely. Light, dark, pick a side. Right, wrong, how you ride. Hot, cold, what's the vibe? Life, death, choose wisely. Pick and choose, I don't wanna lose in this life.
Hey, shalom, what's up, Christ bless? We out here at Inglewood, California Jazz Fest. We out here to wake up the minds of our people. These men to spread it out. We're giving out flyers. They won't let us in, but anybody that's going in, we trying to reach their minds. We trying to reach their spirits with the word of God. Right? Shalom.
Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair.
Hey, all right, we're back. We're back from the break. I'm excited for y'all. Shoot. All right. I'm gonna answer some questions. Read that. Shout to y'all.
Shalom, leadership, Most High in Christ bless. Were Northern Kingdom in both Bethshan and the lands of the Medes after their deportation and replacement?
First question. The answer is yes, because they didn't take all of Northern Kingdom out. The remnant of them was left over like Judah, where it says they left the poor in the land. So you have remnants of Northern Kingdom that remained in the land after they were taken out by waves. Remnants of us were still, very small remnants of Northern Kingdom were still there, so yes. Go ahead.
Would this explain why their land was called Scythopolis even though they were deported?
I would say yes, because the Greeks came to know them as Scythians based upon where they were placed at. So I would say yes. That question you're asking, the second question is based upon my opinion. I would say yes, because of the fact that they encountered the same people in that land. So it's a possibility. Yes, I can only say it's a possibility. I can't speak in certainty regarding your second question. But your first question, yes, I'm sure remnants of Northern Kingdom were still left over. Very small remnants of Northern Kingdom were left. You know, they didn't really return. Most of them were gone. Most of Northern Kingdom was pretty much gone. You know, not all, but anyway. Next question.
OHH family, Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Question, the Heritans are from which of the 12 tribes?
I would say a mixture of all, because remember, we all met up. When we all fled from different captivities, Assyria, Babylon, we kind of all ran to like, Africa's huge. Africa's huge. I'm looking over there. What the hell is this? Africa is huge. So I'm looking at the screen, that's why. Africa is huge, so we would flee down to like South Africa and work our way up, or we run up into like Libya and run across, which would be like the Sahara, Congo, and go through, and we cut up and we meet in the west. So we had the northwest and southwest on lock. So I would say primarily southern, you know, but you know, a mixture of both. I can't pinpoint exactly which 12 they are, but it's definitely us.
You know, a lot of the
you know that
a lot of Northern Kingdom, from escaping the different captivity, we all ran into Africa and on the North Africa and ran up into Spain.
Because the Heritans came out of Spain and Portugal. We know that during Babylonian time, that's when Judah was placed up there. They were placed there historically, outside the Bible. They were placed in Spain. Judah was placed there, and they may also migrate there. Give me Romans also. Paul wrote to them. He wrote to us in Spain. Romans 16?
15:24.
Yeah, let's get that. Romans 15. Regarding our people living in Spain.
Yes, sir. Romans chapter 15, verse 24. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain.
Where?
Into Spain.
Spain, go ahead.
I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company.
There's two places. There's a Spain there and somewhere else. It says it twice. Twice in there, Spain. 24 and somewhere else.
Which one you just read?
That was 24.
Romans 15, 28.
28. Go to 28 now.
Verse 28. When therefore I have performed this and have sealed to them this fruit, I will come by you into Spain.
This is Paul writing to Judites in Spain. The synagogue. This is Paul writing to the Israelites in Spain. So our people were definitely in Spain here. All right? Come to you in Spain, into Spain. So there's history here that Israel is in Spain. All right? So I can't tell you, the Blackamoors, you know, for the most part, you know, it's a mixture, I say mixture of both.
But the slave trade, the slave trade, we know that was mostly Southern Kingdom that they place, so that's why we saying
Southern, primarily Southern, but it was Northern as well. So I can't give you a key which one. Next one.
Oh, this is a new question.
No, let's go before that. Go before that one. It's a shorter one.
What's the name of them books? I'm trying to download the PDF.
You got to rewind the video, watch it again. It'll be posted on our website. I mean, on the YouTube, Our Hidden History Radio channel. Rewind the book to the timestamps. You'll see the pages of the books, and you'll see. Go to the next long one. Jesus Christ. You know what I should have do, man? I'm giving long drinks. I'm going to skim through this.
That's a sister.
Shalom, deacon and leadership, Most High in Christ bless. I want to thank you all for the dedication and perseverance it takes to bring this information to the light for our people. Mm-hmm. When they wrote these books way back then, they had no idea that one day a prophet named Ithon Israel would be born.
All praise the Lord. All praise the Lord. All praise the Lord.
That this prophet and his brothers would search out and reveal this precious information to the lost sheep who never had the motivation to pick up a book, especially books about history. They had no idea that the guidelines
wrote a story.
It's okay. It's all right.
All praise.
So far, so good. It's all right. You're almost done. It's good. Yeah.
They had no idea that the guidelines written for their children would become the validation for our nation.
That's true. Uh-huh.
That the Most High has had his hand behind it all to expose their evil. All praises to the Most High in Christ. They are definitely going to have to fix your face. Shalom from Saoirse of the New Jersey School.
All praises. All praises.
All right, all praises, sis.
Thank you. Is more?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Brother Aaron, VA Camp. So how was the difference established between Northern and Southern Kingdom being captured by the Assyrians to be called Anglo-Saxon? Not disputing the information, but trying to get an understanding. Where did Anglo come from growing up? Esau always made it seem like they were the Anglo-Saxons.
Well, Anglo just means angelic. That's a term we gave ourselves when we start to rule. Anglo-Saxon. That's a terminology that came later on, but Anglo just means angelic. Saxon, we brought that out already. The distinguishing between Southern and Northern Kingdom being captured by the Assyrians. How was the difference established between Northern and Southern Kingdom being captured by the Assyrians to be called Anglo-Saxon? There's no distinction given. We're given the distinction based upon the time frame. We know that the Scythians were, when the Assyrians came, they conquered primarily Northern Kingdom. In any allotment of land that Judah shared with Northern Kingdom, they were taken captive as well. That's all we're going with. So those are called Saxons. And then the book, remember earlier, they were called Saka, as in the house of Isaac. It said, now the book, it said Zebulun, it said Naphtali. It mentioned that, but I showed this book here. It showed that not only was Northern Kingdom overthrown and taken by the Assyrians, but also Southern Kingdom. So that's how I'm able to show you that both kingdoms, Judah was taken, Simeon, remember, Judah and Simeon shared land. So when Assyria conquered Simeon, they took Judah also. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. They were taken also. So they didn't discriminate between who was who. Okay, you're Simeon, you're Judah. You guys move out there, we're going to take. They took whoever. So I hope that answers your question. I hope I'm answering your question regarding that. If not, just if you can rephrase it a little bit if I didn't answer correctly. But if I'm understanding your question, so how was the difference established between Northern and Southern Kingdom? There was no difference. They just took both. Sennacherib conquered Lachish during King Hezekiah's time and took us captive. He was trying to overthrow Judah, but the Lord had plans to not allow that to happen. So remember, the angel came and killed his army, so he had to fall back. But when it came to Shalmaneser and Tiglath-Pileser, they were successful in conquering Northern Kingdom, which took place prior to Sennacherib. So that's why I said Northern Kingdom first was taken and conquered and so forth. It became Scythians, whatever. And then later on, Sennacherib came along and conquered Judah, put them in the same exact places, and they fell into the same category as wanderers. Scythian just means wanderer. And then they were called Saka, or Scythians, Saka, whatever, Sakasanis, which is, hopefully that answers your question. Trying to understanding where did the Anglo-Saxons coming up with Esau. The reason why Esau claims to be Anglo-Saxon is because Esau, they took Europe over. Remember the Greeks and the Romans, they took over Europe. So they claim to be Aryans. The original Europeans or Aryans was Japheth. Okay, and Japheth and Shem, because it says that Japheth shall dwell in the tents of Shem. So when you have, for example, you had the Medes and the Persians. The Medes was Japheth, and the Persians were Shemitic, and those two intermingled a lot. So the elite Babylonians were Chaldeans, and the elite Persians were called Aryans. Aryans. So Aryan nation. The Persians were the original Aryan nation, and the Persians had parts of Europe on lock, and Iran and so forth. I said to you earlier, like Russia and Iran, they're like neighbors. Eurasia. So when the white man gained dominion over the earth, he says, I'm the elite. I'm Aryan. I'm the elite Eurasian. That's basically what he did. So they're not Aryans. The original Aryans were Persians. But the white man says, no, I'm Aryan because he took over. Remember, the Greeks conquered the Persians and took their land over and called themselves Aryan nation. They have no identity. They just steal everything. When you research, you're like, yo, these guys are nobody. When you research history, you're like, where's the white man at? He's like really no one. He's just in the caves, eating out of his own ass. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's doing nothing at all. Just living in caves, doing nothing, with no Gillette razor. Where we at? I'm sorry, I went to a dark place. Where we at? Let's just hope that all praises answer your question. All praises. Is that it? All praises. Let's go. Let's go. Where we at? Okay, so Paul wrote to the Israelites in Spain. I brought that out to show the history of us in Spain. When Paul wrote this, that was in the early AD history, early ADs. So Israel was definitely in Spain. Paul was writing to the Israelites in Rome. He was also writing to the Israelites. He was also addressing the Israelites in Spain. All right? So we were definitely there. Give me Israel Redivivus. Page 191. Israel Redivivus, page 191. Let's get some more on the Scythians. Watch this. This is gonna tie into Anglo-Saxons. This is gonna tie into King James family, Britons. Keep that in mind. Read this here. Watch this.
The Scythians, the Gatei, the Thracians.
That Thracians goes back to Spartacus. You watch the show Spartacus, he was a Thracian. You watch Crixus, I think he was a, what was he? He was a,
I forgot.
Crixus was a Gaul. Go back to Galatians. That's us too. A Gaul. Read on.
The Scythians, the Gatei, Thracians, and Gauls.
The Goths was us, but the Visigoths and Vandals was Edom. You had Ostrogoths, you had Visigoths. Some of Israel was Goths. Go ahead.
Having thus been traced to one common origin.
So the Scythians, Getae, Thracians, and Goths have all been traced to one common origin. Watch this. How old is this book? This book is mad old. Israel Redivivus. This book is old.
Yeah, I think this book probably 1830s.
It's like early 1800s, like early 1800s. Go ahead. Israel Redivivus. Go ahead.
Or as being rather different names for the same people.
Different names for the same people. Go ahead.
There can be no reasonable doubt but that these represented the descendants of the 10 tribes who had escaped from the Assyrian captivity.
Go ahead.
It has also been seen that some of these migrated into Asia Minor.
That's Scythians. Watch this.
And thus joined the Greco-Israelites.
Go ahead.
And their colonies there.
We came together. All the 12 came together. Joined the Greco-Israelites, which is what? Greeks. That Paul was writing to. In their colonies there. In Asia Minor. Israelites. Greco-Israelites. Is that in this book? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me the next one. Key to North European Origins.
1833? Yeah, 1833, that book.
That book was 1833. Damn. That's 30 years before the Emancipation Proclamation. 1833. White eyes only books. And we have a video also of scholars saying the best books to use is the old ones because they're not watered down and politically correct. They're raw and uncut.
Right.
Because they're not for us to read. A lot of these books are gifted to their from your uncle so-and-so, from your aunt so-and-so. These pass these books down through family. But as America, they become like liberal. Oh, no, I'm going to sell it. I don't care about this. Bad mistake. Shouldn't sell them. We're going to buy them. Read that.
All right.
This book is called Northwestern European Origins. The Key to Northwest European Origins. Go ahead.
We shall presently note that no nation could withstand these Scythian peoples when they were united, which was seldom, if ever. It has already been...
So the Scythians were divided. Israel, even when we got in exile, we were still divided among ourselves. We were still beefing. Go ahead.
It has already been brought to our attention that according to the Behistun rock inscriptions, this name Scythian is one of the first names which Israel bore in exile.
Wow. So that name fell upon them. And later on, the other nations that resided in that area known as wanderers. But primarily us, Scythians. Go ahead.
God had determined to bury the identity of these exiles whom he had expelled from the promised land.
Wow, God had determined to bury the name. Remember, it said, I will move your memory. Give me that scripture real quick. Bishop wrote that last night. Deuteronomy 32:26. Read it again.
Said, it had already been brought to our attention that according to the Behistun rock inscriptions, this name Scythian is one of the first names which Israel bore in exile.
It's a byword. Give me 28 first, 28, 37, and then 32:26. Scythian is a byword. So Paul was using bywords in the New Testament. Greek, Jew, that's a damn byword too. This is Judah, really. Barbarian, Scythian. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
See, a byword goes into a name called outside your own. Byword. Go ahead. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26.
Watch this.
I said, I would scatter them into corners.
But you did. Go ahead.
I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
Our identity will be removed, discontinued. Read that again.
I said.
No, not that. I'm again, Jazz. Read that again.
It has already been brought to our attention that, according to the Behistun rock inscriptions, this name Scythian is one of the first names which Israel bore in exile.
Wow.
God had determined to bury the identity of these exiles whom he had expelled from the promised land so that they would lose their identity.
They would lose. Damn. We would lose our identity based upon Deuteronomy 32 and 6 and 26. Go ahead.
Until the latter days.
Until the latter days, which is happening right now. Go ahead.
When their identity was to be revealed to them.
Wow.
Damn.
When their identity was to be revealed to them. By who? By the prophets of the Lord, man.
All praise.
Give me Baruch 2:30. The Holy Spirit is going to jump into the right man. We spoke about last night to bring this knowledge to us. Start with our elders, up until now, up until us now. Baruch 2:30.
Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Rebellious. Go ahead. Verse 29.
Verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them.
Where I will scatter them. And then we would be conquered and small, but then within that captivity, we grow large again. Like, for example, I mentioned earlier that Haritan make up 40% of the population in that area. That's a lot of people. That's millions. 40% of 100%? It's a lot. Go ahead.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Watch this.
But in the land of their captivities.
In the land of their captivities. Go ahead.
They shall remember themselves.
They shall remember their identity. Prophecy being fulfilled now. Read again. Read that again, Jess.
Yes, sir. It said, it has already been brought to our attention that according to the Behistun rock inscriptions, this name Scythian is one of the first names which Israel bore in exile. God had determined to bury the identity of these exiles whom he had expelled from the promised land, so that they would lose their identity until the latter days, when their identity was to be revealed to them.
Wow. Go ahead.
In this section on the Scythians, the foremost authorities will be consulted.
The foremost authorities will be consulted. Go ahead.
And in order to thoroughly understand the Scythian background and their connection with Israel, we shall examine this subject through the eyes of many different historians who have diligently studied the Scythian history. First, we shall consider this subject through a classic work written by Sharon Turner. He had an unusually penetrating way of analyzing the ethnological entanglements of the peoples of Europe. Turner shows that Europe has been peopled by three great streams of population.
Yes.
From the east, which have followed each other at intervals so distinct as to possess languages clearly separable from each other.
The three would be, I would say it would be Japheth is number one. Japheth is one, Israel's two, and then I guess Israel's number two. If you include northern and then southern kingdom afterwards, I can count that as two, and then Esau would be three. Go ahead.
These three streams of population were the Cimmerian or Celtic, two, Scythian or Gothic.
The Cimmerian or Celtic is still Israel. The Scythian or Gothic is still Israel too. We read that earlier. They're all one the same. The Thracians, the Goths, Getae, Scythians are all one. Read it again.
Says these three streams of population were one. The Cimmerian or
is it these three were one?
The three streams of population were, and then this is number one.
Okay.
Cimmerian or Celtic. Number two, Scythian or Gothic. And
Cimmerian goes to Japheth. Cimmerian or what? Or Celtic?
Yes, sir.
or Celtic. That goes to Celtic goes to the Spain. We travel to Spain, Celtiberians,
Ireland and all
that. That's Hannibal and them. That's the Carthaginians. That's Celtic. That's them.
Hibernian.
Celtiberian. We'll get to that soon enough. Celtiberians. Go ahead. That's Israel. Go ahead.
2, Scythian or Gothic.
Scythian or Gothic goes to Assyria. Because remember, the Carthaginians, they came after. That's Rome. So the Cimmerian would be Japheth. The Syrian captivity, they pushed them out. Then Celtic will go to Hannibal and them, and you also have Hannibal and them that came after. Go ahead.
3, the Sarmatian or Slavic. He points out that the earliest people who came to Europe were of the Cimmerian, the Cymric or Celtic race. The second people to migrate into Europe were the Scythian, Gothic, or German peoples. It would appear that Turner did not mean that the Scythian peoples were synonymous with the true Germans of today.
They're not. So the Scythians are not what? What does it say?
He said it would appear that Turner did not mean that the Scythian peoples were synonymous with the true Germans of today.
They're not the same. Go ahead.
We have already noticed that the first branch of people who came to Europe were the Cimmerians or Celts. They settled primarily in the north or western parts of Europe, mostly on the coastlands and islands of the continent. But the Scythian or Gothic peoples occupied great body of the European continent. Turner, History of the Anglo-Saxons, Volume 1, page 24.
History of the Anglo-Saxons. I'm telling you. Go ahead.
The early organization of Europe by the Cimmerian or Celtic race has been already displayed. The next stream of barbaric tribes whose progress formed the second great influx of population into Europe were the Scythian, German, and Gothic tribes. They also entered it out of they also entered it out of Asia. Herodotus, beside the main Scythia, which he places in Europe, mentions also an Eastern or Asiatic Scythia beyond the Caspian and the
Black Sea,
the Laxert. The Anglo-Saxons, Lowland Scotch, Normans, Danes, Norwegians, Swedes.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The Danes, what say?
The Anglo-Saxons. The Lowland Scott. Normans.
Keep that in mind.
Danes.
Keep the Danes in mind.
Norwegians.
Swedes.
Germans, Dutch, Belgians, Lombards, and Franks have all sprung from this great fountain of the human race, which we have distinguished by the terms Scythian.
Right, because that's all Europe. Keep going.
German or Gothic.
Keep going.
What did the Scythians call themselves? Their general appellation among themselves was Scalati, but the Greeks called them Scythians, Scuthi, or nomads.
Nomads, wanderers. Is that it?
That's it on that? Yeah, that's it on that.
That's it. All right. What did I want next out of that? That's all I wanted, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Get me what I want now. Is there something else I have there? That's all I have. That's all I pulled?
We have a question, D. Why you want to wait?
What's the question? What's the question? Read the question. I'm trying to think what I want to get next.
Shalom, leadership, Most High in Christ bless. All praises to the Most High for our hidden history. I'm learning more about facts and events that actually happened than I ever did in advanced studies in high school or college. I've been downloading each chapter, but is there a channel on IUIC TV? Sister Pamela Israel.
I'm not sure. No, not yet. Not yet. Lord's will, there will be.
Yeah, we definitely working on it
We're
now.
Working on that
Since you
yeah.
Put it in mind. Thank you.
Give me what I want. Get me is it Hannibal? Give me First Maccabees. First Maccabees 8 and 1. We're gonna read to verse 3.
First,
I'm going to show y'all the history of the Scythians, the Gauls, same thing pretty much, and Hannibal at the same time. First Maccabees 8 and 1.
First Maccabees chapter 8 verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans.
So Judas, which would be Jewish Maccabee, Levi, Southern Kingdom, heard of the fame of the Romans, their conquest. Go ahead.
that there were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
Verse 2, watch this.
And that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts.
Their wars. It was told him, he got word of their victorious conquests, their wars and noble acts. Go ahead.
Which they had done among the Galatians.
The Galatians here is the Gallic Wars. Julius Caesar, something called the Gallic Wars. He conquered pretty much the Scythians, and established Roman colonies in those areas of land. It's called the Gallic Wars. They were destroying the Gauls. That's what a lot of the Gauls, we were in France, and then we migrated over to Galatia, and we gave the name Gaul over to Galatia. All right? So that's where Galatians comes from. That was us as well. All right? You got that book also about the Galatians, who the Galatians are? Pull that right up. We're going to deal with that next. Regarding them dwelling in Asia Minor. With the Greco, it says they merged the Greco-Israelites. Remember that. So, read that again. Verse 2.
And that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts, which they had done among the Galatians.
And they conquered the Gauls. Scythians, same thing, same people. They conquered them. They conquered the Gauls or Galatians. Go ahead.
And how they had conquered.
My Bible says Frenchmen because, remember, they that area, Gomer, they resided in that region and took the name and brought it over to Gaul or Galatians. They conquered them. Go ahead.
And how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute.
Right, and enslaved us pretty much as the Gauls. Next one, verse 3.
And what they had done in the country of Spain.
And what they had done, the Romans had done in the country of Spain. When they did what? When they conquered Hannibal during the Second Punic War. The same Hannibal whose father's name was Hamilcar, whose father's name was Hanno, who was a Negro, from which we are the ancestors of, who were enslaved on this continent. That's them same people there. Read 3 again.
And what they had done in the country of Spain.
Go ahead.
For the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there.
Once they conquered the Hannibals, the Hannibal family, the Carthage family, they inherited the mines that were in Spain, and that money and wealth that they acquired during that conquest made Rome wealthy enough to become an empire. They were a republic, and once they got that money, they were able to fund their military and expand it, and that money made them financially an empire by conquering Hannibal and them during the Second Punic War. They conquered the Punic people, which is our people as well, which is the Northern Kingdom as well, Zebulun, Asher, particularly those two. We're gonna go into the history of Hannibal and them and their travels to Ireland and Spain. They became the Celt Iberians. That's them. Okay, when Alexander the Great, give me is it Zechariah? When Alexander the Great conquered you had Tyre and Sidon. Tyre and Sidon, they were was Isaiah, the mart of nations. They were the
Tyre and Sidon.
Yeah. They were the Walmart of ancient time. They were the Amazon. Isaiah
27, 23.
23 and 1.
Isaiah 23. Remember you brought that up.
Yeah, verse 2. Verse 3. Give me Isaiah 23, verse 1. So I'm going to give you a real quick recap. Tyre and Sidon. Sidon originally had land in the Promised Land. We took that land over. It was called Old Tyre. It was on land. Then you had an island that was surrounded by a mountain. And they sailed to that island and named that place New Tyre, and stayed there. They were fortified on an island. They felt no one could touch them, and they were like in the Tyre and Sidon. Tyre is the city of the Sidonians. The Sidonians are Canaanites, so they were seafarers. They traveled the world. They did trading and merchandising and all that stuff, and they had a small colony on North Africa. Okay, a small colony there. So they were arrogant. They had the merchant trade. Remember, Hiram of Tyre. Hiram and Solomon were in league. So the Tyre was like, they had the Mediterranean on lock. Solomon had, I'm going to get to that soon. Solomon had the Atlantic, the Pacific, and he had the Mediterranean. They're trading league. They were in league together. I'll get to that later. So now, read this real quick. 23 verse 1 and 3.
Isaiah chapter 23 verse 1. The burden of Tyre, how ye ships of Tarshish.
Spain. Go ahead.
For it is...
Tarshish is Spain because remember, Tyre had the Mediterranean. Spain borders where? On the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, read on.
For it is laid waste, so that there is no house.
It is laid waste is going into Tyre. Go ahead.
No entering in. From the land of Kittim, it is revealed to them.
Meaning Rome. It is revealed to them. That's also that also borders Mediterranean. Kittim. Go ahead.
Be still, ye inhabitants of the isle.
Of the island. New Tyre. Go ahead.
Thou, whom the merchants of Zidon.
Zidon is Tyre. The same people. Zidon is Sidonians, Canaanites. Go ahead.
That pass over the sea have replenished. And by great waters the seed of Sihor. The harvest of the rivers is her revenue. And she is a mart of nations.
She is the what?
Mart of nations.
She is the mart. You have Walmart, Simpsons. You had Quickie Mart, Walmart. Tyre was the mart or market of nations. She was the Amazon, ancient Walmart of the time. Market. All right, and then give me real quick. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find that picture of a Canaanite. There's a picture of one in here. There's a picture of one in here. But it's not in color. There's one I have a picture of him in color. It's the wrong book. It's another book I have. It's called Bible. What's it called? It's a book called Our Living Bible. I'll bring that next week. Get me Zechariah. Let me get it. Make sure that's what I want regarding what happened to New Tyre. Zechariah. Give me a moment. Or is it Amos? Say something, y'all. I'll find it. Say something.
Yeah, we got you deep. Hey, shout out to our reader, man. Officer Shatiel. Shout out to the reader today. Officer Shatiel came through. All praise the Most High, man. All right, y'all may know him. He be reading for Cap with Man Up Mondays. So all praises for good reading, man. We got Officer LeQuac in the building.
Yeah, shout out to Captain Joel, man. Couldn't be here.
Yo, Cap, where you at, Cap? Officer Haim.
That's Captain Never Here.
Captain Never Here.
Captain Never Here.
Hey, we got.
Hold on, man. You want to send that address?
Now he out there doing the work. He's out there in Vegas. He's doing the work right now.
Nah, we know.
Yeah.
All praises.
There's a sister online that said that she found a slave master's diary, and she would like to send it to the bishop. You wanna give him that address?
Yes, sir. So if you want to donate any books to the bishop, you can send it to or mail it to P.O. Box 2695 in Newburgh, New York. All right, area code or zip code, 12550. Once again, that's P.O. Box 2695, Newburgh, New York, 12550.
I think the name of her name was Lady Natty.
Yeah, Lady Natty. If you could leave a comment, so we can get your name again, Lady Natty.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Somebody asked a question about the 300s or the Levi or
the 300s. He said what he Levi.
No, that's a question.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yo,
that was a question.
No, definitely
not.
That was
a question.
Who asked that question?
They were Levi. They would have been killed immediately.
Oh man!
That's
a question. Leader or Judah?
Bro,
they were all Judah all day. Now, I'm a joke.
Judah or Levi?
What's going on, man?
It's a question.
Hey, we know the 300s were Israel.
Yeah, Zechariah 9:1.
We You know they were
we know that they were all Israel. So that's what we know.
Oh, man.
Remember, it says the Greco-Israelites, they all met up. So it was Southern and Northern Kingdom mixed together within the ranks of those two. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. They said Levi or Benji. All right, there we go.
Oh, snap.
Levi
Hey,
or
Benji was warriors, man.
Benji was warriors, so definitely Benji is. I can say that. Because they were ambidextrous in weapons. They can use both hands, and it was a problem.
That's right.
Walk with the Giants! Walk with the Giants! Zechariah 9:1.
Zechariah chapter 9, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord.
This is going in conjunction with Isaiah 23 about them being the nations. This is their fall. Go ahead.
In the land of Hadrach, and Damascus shall be the rest thereof. When the eyes of man, as of all the tribes of Israel, shall be toward the Lord.
Verse 2.
And Hamath also shall border thereby. Tyrus and Zidon, though it be very wise.
Verse 3.
And Tyrus shall build herself.
Did build herself.
Excuse me. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold.
Because he was the mar of the nations. Go ahead.
And heaped up silver as the dust.
She did.
And fine gold as the mire of the streets.
Verse 4.
Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea.
Because she was surrounded by an island. Go ahead. She was on an island. Go ahead.
And she shall be devoured with fire.
Devoured with fire, going into this Tyrus is going into Tyrus of old and Tyrus of now. But in old, Tyrus have burned because Alexander the Great came along and burned it to the ground. And when he took the old ruins of Tyre from the land, the mainland, and he put rocks in the water and made a land bridge to the island. And then he crossed over the rocks and knocked the walls down and killed everybody in there. So when they realized and Alexander the Great being a war genius, when he got in behind the walls of New Tyre on the island, they sailed away. And when they sailed away, when they got to North Africa, we was already there. Judah was there from Babylon captivity. Northern Kingdom was there from Assyria. We took over. So they came over. We took over. Once they fell, once Tyre Sidonian fell, we took over that trade. We said, okay, well, you guys fell. We gotta take it from here. And we took it from there. We became the Phoenicians. The Greeks called us Phoenicians, and we took on that trade of the Mediterranean Sea. We took that. Now it became our business. And then once we took on that trade or that seafaring business, we began to travel to Ireland, and we traveled to Britain and things of that nature. I'll get to that soon enough. All right? So that's when Tyre fell. When Alexander the Great came, burned them to the ground, it was a wrap. The island was finished. Now, there's more as a text. Okay, it was a short. Read that.
I already dealt with it, Deke.
Okay, you did?
I dealt with it. Don't worry, officer. We're going to get it to you, man.
Oh, God, Jerry Ham. Get out of here,
We're going to get it to you, all right?
I don't give you nothing, man. Get out of here, Levi. I ain't nothing.
See, I told you.
Levi?
I told you. I'm sharing now with Levi. I told you that.
All right, so where we at? What was I saying before, Jazz? What books I got there?
Oh, get the one with the Gauls.
Get the one with the Gauls. Regarding Alexander the Great and the Gallic Wars, he conquered us. I read that in Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 8 and 2.
All right, so it says,
Move it over, center it.
That's good.
Let's go.
So whatever intermixture of races, certain, when we remember the scattering of Israel, may be found in Britain.
Damn.
Whatever rifts and remnants of Israel may be found in different parts, it must be true that Britain and her colonies contain the bulk of Ephraim.
Damn. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. What book is this?
The Banner of Israel.
What's the year?
Oh, man, this is 1800s.
Another White Eyes Only book. The Banner of Israel. Go ahead. Do I have this book? Do I have this? I don't have this book, right?
Yes, I think you
no, I don't. If you say I think you do, it means I don't have it.
Deke,
Jesus Christ.
We can look into it, Deke.
Oh, gosh. Go ahead, read it again, man. This guy, man. Go ahead.
All right. Let me read it over.
It's going to be $1 billion when we leave out of here. Go ahead.
So whatever intermixture of races, certain, when we remember the scattering of Israel, may be found in Britain. Whatever rifts and remnants of Israel may be found in different parts. It must be true that Britain and her colonies contain the bulk of Ephraim and the tribes of Israel.
Contain the bulk of Ephraim and the tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
His fellows.
And his fellows. The other nine. That's the rest. Right. The rest of Israel. Go ahead.
So that when we hear it, said that there is the Gale of the British Isles.
The Gales and Gauls are the same people of the British Isles. Go ahead.
And also of the continent. We need not believe that this is in favor of the Teutonic theory. For the Gaelic race, which evidently came into Europe from Galilee and the adjacent lands, contained many Shemitic people.
And the Teutonic theory is Israelites too. The Teutons is us too. Go ahead.
Other than Hebrew, and surely the gatherer of Israel knows his chosen race from another, and has brought to pass that which he have ordained in the past. That the Gaelic race contains some of the scattered Israel is proved by St. Paul's epistle to the Galatians.
Damn.
Who it can be seen are Israelites. And we know from history that these...
Wait.
Yeah.
You got to be at it again, Jazz. You swimming through it too fast. You got to take your time, man.
I'm sorry, D. Let me
just float in the water, man. Just float. Don't swim so fast through it.
Let me backpedal on that one.
Backpedal.
Let me backpedal on that one.
Yeah, read it again, please.
That the Gaelic race.
The Gaelic race.
Contains some of scattered Israel.
Some of scattered Israel. Go ahead.
Is proved by St. Paul's epistle to the Galatians.
There you go. Go ahead.
Who it can be seen are Israelites.
So it can be seen by scholars that the Galatians were Israelites. How is it seen? Because the Bible says it. Go ahead.
And we know from history that these Galatians had been in the west of Europe under the name of Gauls.
There you go. That's where the term Galatians comes from. That's Northern Kingdom he's talking to in Galatians. That's who he's talking to. Go ahead.
Or perhaps Cimbri.
Cimbri. The word Cimbri goes back to the name King Omri. Omri goes back to who? Ahab. King Ahab. Cimbri or Kimri. Go ahead.
Which, after all, is one and the same thing.
Same thing. King Omri or King or Cimbri, Gales, Gauls, one is all the same people. Now, what I actually get? What do I want to get now? Oh, give me Ezekiel 27 verse 1. To show how far, because when Tyre and Sidon were a power, a maritime trade power, Israel, we were their employees. Ezekiel 27 verse 2 and 3.
Ezekiel chapter 27 verse 2.
Then jump to verse 19.
Now, thou son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus, and say unto Tyrus, O thou that art situate at the entry of the sea.
Because they were in the island. Go ahead.
Which are a merchant of the people for many islands.
They are a merchant of the people for many different islands or nations. They would travel. They did. Remember, you read in Nehemiah, the men of Tyre came to sell to them. In Nehemiah, if you come here again, I'll lay my hands on you, because they were businessmen. Even during the Persian captivity, they still maintained that business mind. Okay, so I'm showing you here that these guys pretty much were the marketplace. They were the market of nations. Read on.
Thus saith the Lord God, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am of perfect beauty.
Arrogant. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty.
Verse 5.
They have made all my shipboards.
All thy shipboards.
All thy shipboards of fir trees and cedar.
Of Sinir.
A Sinir. They have taken cedars from Lebanon to make masts for thee.
To make masts, to make parts for boats. Jump down to verse 19. Let's see who worked with them.
Verse 19. Dan also and Javan, going to and fro, occupied in thy fairs.
Dan, the tribe of Dan, and Japheth also, going to and fro, occupied in your affairs, means your affairs, your business transactions. So Dan would travel back and forth for Japheth and sell for them, and sell for Tyre and Sidon. And these guys lived in these areas. Read on.
Bright iron, cassia, and calamus were in thy
market. So Israel was familiar with Tyre and Sidon because we worked for them. Okay? From the time of Solomon all the way until later on. We worked with them. Now, give me the I had this book, Ireland by Anna Wilkes. This book was published in, drum roll, is it White Eyes Only? No, it's not. It's 1873. Yeah, that's all right. 10 years later.
We still could barely read and write.
Yeah, 1873. We still, 1873 is this page.
Don't have it.
They don't have it? Yeah, you're the Chaldees.
Oh, y'all have that. Y'all have that. You definitely have that.
I'm going to end it on that.
If you don't have it, I'll send it. But I know you got it.
Oh, it's in here.
Remember what page, D?
Nope. Yeah, I got it here. I'm bugging. Page 39.
Page 39.
And 40. So, going back to Hannibal and them, they traveled. They took over Tyre and Sidon's business. Once the Greeks overthrew them, they took over the business, and they began to set sail into these areas. I'm going to go into more of that history, Lord's will, next week regarding how Hannibal and them, the Carthaginians and them, were the ones that traveled and sailed these areas. But it was Hanno and Hamilcar. Hanno and Hamilcar. Hanno sailed upwards, I believe, and Hamilcar downwards, or whatever. Vice versa. Hamilcar upwards, Hanno downwards. One sailed upwards toward the British Isles, Ireland. One sailed downwards toward the borders of Atlantic Ocean, Western Africa. They sailed there.
Hey, get page 40.
And we sailed over here, too, by the way.
You ready, D?
39 and 40, yeah. This book is written by Anna Wilkes. It's called Ireland, Year of the Chaldees. Ireland, Year of the Chaldees by Anna Wilkes, 1873. All right. Page 39. Start from there.
Blow it up. All right. Haven't we considered fully introduced the question that Chaldea was in the west of Europe? Although we have only given our reasons in part for so placing it, it becomes necessary to refer here in connection with to an old Bible personage of importance, the grandson of Arphaxad, Eber or Heber.
Eber, go ahead.
There is found in Irish tradition a Heber whose name was given to Ireland, and which is to be perceived in the word Hibernia.
Hibernia. So Ireland was called Hibernia. Go ahead.
Whether the Bible Heber and the Heber of Irish history may be the same does not concern us so much as the fact that Ireland has preserved to the present time more distinct marks of an ancient than can be pointed to in any other country, whether of Asia or Europe. Besides Ireland having had once the name of Hibernia from Heber, there are names derived of Heber in England and Scotland. In Scotland, the next page. In Scotland, the
Hebrides.
In Scotland, the Hebrides. In England, the old name of York.
The old name of York in England was called what?
Ebericum
or
Hebericum.
So Hibernium or Hibernicum. So these places are named after the word Heber. Now you're gonna say, well, maybe it was ancient time. Eber. We'll see. Keep going.
It may appear as the argument unfolds itself that the balance of proof will rest on the side of the Irish Heber, having been a veritable Hebrew.
Watch this.
A stronghold of the Hebrew was Iberia.
Oh, Iberia. Goes back to what? The Iberian Peninsula. Who took that land over? Carthage and them. We took it. The Israelites took that land over. Iberia. We're going to give her that, Lord's will, next week. Go ahead.
A name under which Spain was once known.
Iberia was once known under the name of Spain. It was called Iberia. We named it that. Go ahead, because the word Iberia. Go ahead.
A great deal of the mystery that surrounds Heber may be cleared away when we remember our teaching that the scripture Hebrew was Chaldean first and then Hebrew.
And what?
And afterwards
Israelite. Go ahead.
And that is recorded that Melesius, the father of the Heber of Ireland, came with his son out of Iberia
from Spain
into Ireland.
From Spain into Ireland. Go ahead.
Iberia and Tarshish are acknowledged by most of our recent Bible commentators to be one place. That is Spain.
Read on.
It is told us in Psalms.
Right.
Yeah, 10. In the prayer of David for his son Solomon.
Psalms, blah, 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 verse 10. Go ahead.
Oh, I think it might be 72.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I believe you.
It is told us in Psalms 72:10 in the prayer of David for his son Solomon that the kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There is good testimony in this of the prosperity of Iberia.
Of Spain. So, read the next. Oh, damn. Page.
I think that's it. That's all we had.
Yeah, we should get 42. It goes into more information on that.
You want to bring it out next week? Or
Yeah. Just tell them, take a picture of page 42. All right.
Got 2 questions.
You got 2 questions? So I'll end on 2 questions. It was already 4:35. You gotta get up out of here. Stop. Go ahead. So 2 questions. I'll wrap it up.
Go to that first one. Nah.
Overran my time.
Yeah, so the sister, I guess she put up a new tire on the map.
Right. When Alexander the Great built he took old ruins of old Tyre. He built rocks there, and over time, it became part of the island and became a peninsula. So Alexander the Great turned the island of New Tyre into a peninsula, just to crash over that rocks and kill them for being disrespectful. That's what he did. That's how it looks now.
A sister sent that, right?
Yeah, that's the map. That's how it looks now.
Wow, all praises, sis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. That's what she did. So I was Alexander the Great's popular conquest of New Tyre. Is that it?
Go to the next one.
The next one?
Said no racism. Oh, never mind.
It's old?
Yeah,
is that it?
That's Officer Gerald, right? Talking about no racism.
Oh, gosh. Levi, we love you, man.
Hey,
Levi, we love you. It's
hey,
okay.
Be patient, all right?
Yeah, so all praises to the Lord. We're going to wrap it up.
I've heard
I
that.
over my time. Shout out to the IT team. They did an excellent job today. And breakfast team, the food was excellent. Oh, I didn't even burp today. That was good. That was a light breakfast. That was good, man. That was great. All praises to that. Announcements.
Hey, everybody, let's give Deacon one more hand, man. An excellent class, man. Excellent.
Why didn't it? It's not
All right. So, if you want to subscribe, you should subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio.
You giving Israel options?
Right. Forgive me, Israel. So subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio, all right? IUIC Philadelphia and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom on YouTube. You can donate on PayPal to Our Hidden History, which is iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org, as well as the Booster Club. Please support the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. And last but not least, make sure that y'all subscribe to IUIC TV. We just got finished announcing that we're going to make sure OHH get on there, all right? And that's to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC.
Oh, damn, I'm supposed to read this one. All right. Anyway, you'll also remind me next week to read Great Britain's rank among the nations.
We're going to get the pictures.
Yes. Great Britain. Yes, page. Damn, man.
Hey,
page 41.
1 second. Ken Wu, go on the website, find the address to the school nearest you, and you go attend the class.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yeah, Israel. I think we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, in 2 weeks. There's a men's conference. Yeah, so we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. I'll give you some time to prepare, put these things together. More stuff together, you know. I think that you guys should be full. I think we fed y'all enough today. But we gave you the books. Y'all gotta, be happy with that. We gave you the books. You can read it on your own.
Except for
if you find something in the books we didn't find, you buy it. Let us know. Screenshot it. Send it to us. Maybe we might have missed something or bypassed it. Because there's a lot of books.
Right.
We skim through it, but we try to move. We have a certain timetable we have to meet up with to give you guys information. So
we are open to the help.
We are open to you guys presenting the books we have, and finding more.
Except for Levi.
Yeah, Levi, don't just be quiet and just learn. Be quiet. We give you nothing. All right. So all praise to the Lord. That's it. And that's it in the announcements.
That's it.
All right. So Israel, shalom. Most High Christ bless. Sorry for the time going over. Most High Christ bless. Shalom. See y'all.
Shalom.
2 weeks. Boom.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh